for the sake of brevity, anyone that has not done so, please roll your morning rouse check for me, please.
I am good to go.
We have 1 success.
Good to go.
2 successes.
I made it out unscathed.
And there we go. No bloody carry tonight.
This is bullshit.
I wouldn't say you're the only one. Additionally, if you all have any superficial willpower, you may heal it up to your either composure or resolve. Just let me know of any new values of what your current willpower is standing at so I can make adjustments.
That will clear me up for a nice even board.
Perfect. Crescent, you're clear, and then Onyx, I believe you cleared yourself before the stream.
Yes.
Awesome. Good. I like having a up-to-date board for my reference. So, Crescent, you awaken. It's the night after, finally, as you wake up in basically Michael's bed. He had given you his room the previous night before, elected to stay out in the lobby, just in case something squirrely happens, thanks to the events that he is now aware of. His bed is very comfortable. Looking around, it's almost biker bar cabin-esque. It's an attached living space right next to the bar, attached by a single hallway. The door, looking over, there are heavy locks on that door. You would definitely take a brouhaha to kick that door in if need be, at least slowing down on a weaker scale. Around the room, it's a simple space, not a window outside to block the sun. A little bit of dark, reddish-brown drapery, some knickknacks here and there. The bed is what's mostly comfortable. Clean, dark brown sheets, thick quilts, and even a old pelt of fur that would line the footliners. Probably more comfortable to a mortal, keep them warm. I guess even if you don't enjoy the comfort of a bed, maybe Michael still holds on to it for sentimental reasons, but it does give that cozy feeling to wake up in the night this way. But is it enough? Stave off the emotion you're feeling at the night after, whatever it is that comes over you, as those memories invade your mind, unrelenting, grief invading. It's like a nightmare that you just woke up from, but it's still playing in your mind.
She's gonna force it down, focus on more important things, but she does want to go see the church just to, I guess, like solidify that everything happened. Because right now it kind of feels like a dream.
Fair enough. Begin to gather your supplies together, your outfit. Michael had provided you a change of clothes. Ironically enough, they did fit, and they are young ladies' clothes that he had on standby. They fit pretty close to you. A little baggy here and there, probably for a woman maybe a little taller than you at some point. You're not sure who they could have belonged to. They have a very slight old essence with your heightened senses that have recently developed. A bit of lavender, dust, age. Maybe that was an old perfume she used to wear. I've never seen a woman around here. Interesting. But you changed out the clothes he provided into clothes that were given, which are now clean. Here's Michael stayed up a little longer last night while you were trying to shut down, and at least cleaned your clothes and even polished your handgun. Which, funny enough, it's warm. You're so used to that metal being so bitterly ice cold in your hand, but as you check the rounds, check the chamber, it's no longer unnervingly cold.
Interesting. I'm gonna pocket it and make my way downstairs, assuming that he is there.
Making your way through, you walk into the main entryway of his bar, the business portion of his building, and it is vastly different from the night before. The tables have all been pushed off to the sides. The windows have been locked and shuttered shut. The glass has been pushed away and off any visible surface. Even the darts, as you look around the dartboard, have been tucked away. And Michael is standing in the middle of the room, holding a pool stick. And he watches you as you come around the corner.
Are we playing a game of pool?
No. Let's just say from experience, there was about a 50-50 chance that you would come flying out of there, and I just wanted to tuck away all the breakables.
That's actually smart. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'll give you that. I'm okay.
He puts the pool stick off to the side. Ah, fuck. As he takes one of the nearby bar stools and kicks it over to you. That's bull crap. Flag number 1.
I'm fine. I really gotta get going.
Where are you going?
Well, I gotta go back to the center, but I was gonna make just a slight detour.
Look, Crescent. I'm serious. Are you okay? And I want you to answer honestly. Don't try and play games with me. I know. I've been there. I've done that several times.
I will be. Is that a good enough answer? I mean, I think it will.
As that response, the shoulders do slack a little bit, relaxing. You can see he was very tense up until this moment. Can I give you a hug, kid?
Yeah.
This man is good head taller than you, head and a half, as he wraps his massive arms around you like a bear. You smell the bit of leather on the vest, clean shirt, a little bit of that musk cologne, as he just pulls you in real tight for a moment, pats you in the back of the head. And right when you start to feel a little uncomfortable from the contact, he does pull away, holding your shoulders. Gets down to your level so you can see his eyes there. Strange blend of amber and red, like a swirling lava lamp in the iris. He nods. You're tough, kid. I know it feels like hell right now. You got friends. Don't be a stranger. Just please try your best not to do something stupid. I closed down tonight, so at least I'm prepared for it, just in case something like this was going to happen, but I can't make guarantees to come save your ass with a big can of laughing gas every night, so please, for this old heart, don't do something too stupid in your grief, okay? Talk first, then punch something.
I'm gonna try not to trouble you as much.
That's not what I said. You're never any trouble. I said don't cause trouble.
I'm going against my nature at that point.
Well, at least point it in the right fucking direction, okay?
I'll do my best. Thanks.
Anytime, darling. Are you sure that do I need to let Grayson know that you're loose out into the city and to expect maybe a cleanup crew?
Tell him I'm on my way back with a slight detour, and if I'm not back, I would say within an hour or two, probably then start getting worried.
I don't mean to violate your privacy, but I did promise him I'd keep tabs on you for him. For what it's worth, he does look out for you a lot. So, just because I'm a man of my word, where are you going first? Just in case something happens. You're not necessarily the most popular person in this city on a regular basis. With Eleonora probably already being whispered about, that's probably going to get worse.
I just want to drive by the church. Just need to see it, because for some reason my head is just still not believing it's gone. I still feel like I'm going to drive up and my room's going to be there. Everything's just going to be there. And I just feel like I need to see it.
Puts up a finger. He walks on over to behind the counter. Here's some glass clinking. Comes back over.
Don't you try and get me drunk again, please.
He comes over, he hands you the leftover bottle of top shelf whiskey, as well as a small steel thermos. He puts them both in your hands. It's a great idea. You might need that to numb the sting a little bit. Just from experience. Remember, you're kind of on a live wire right now, trust me. And look, you're young. The reason why I did this is because when you get older, the emotions start to get a bit more under control. But right now, everything feels like the end of the world. It's like you're a rabid teenager that didn't just never get out of puberty. It only gets worse at times, even when you get this old. So, you're good now. Just consider a little Maula insurance as he just pushes them into your hands, just nodding.
I owe you a lot.
You owe
Thanks.
me nothing, sweetheart. Nothing at all. I do it because I like you, okay? I know it's impossible to believe that you're so charming, but damn it, I gotta admit, I see a lot of you in myself. At least back then. I think I'm a lot smarter than you now, but back then, I was just as emotionally depraved as you. Believe it or not.
All right.
I know. It's hard to believe.
Well, don't be a stranger. You know, you can come to the center without there being a life-threatening emergency.
I think I'm good. If you call me, I'll be there. But if you want to talk, come down here. I don't like going around the city these days, especially with what's going on in West Seattle. It's too much going down right now.
You heard about that?
Oh, absolutely. I've heard about that. Percy's been in an all-out gang war the past several weeks. Some are whispering that he's losing control of his territory. Mortals tearing into each other. I mean, the gangs were always a problem on that side of the street anyway, but I don't know. I've been hearing whispers of mortals that I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm just worried.
Mortals that what?
Takes a moment to look around. Look, there's a reason why I don't recommend you go hunting around the streets. Just because there are mortals out there doesn't mean they're not dangerous. A group of them, with a bar leg, enough ammunition, enough gusto and fervor, you could deke down a neonate. Given enough chance, give an opportunity, good surprise, it happens. This is different. I mean, I've heard ghoul on ghoul warfare before. It's happened in this city, especially during the early days. But this, I'm hearing very dangerous things where friends of mine, their street crew, a couple of humans, ghouls that they've taken care of, Brewhog ghouls, tough guys. Talking things like getting their sternum punched in by non-ghouls, humans. It's like they're just looking for a fight. These people, they feel no pain or something. Like they're just going rabid. So I don't know. It's just hearsay. It's just words on the street that there's some new hopped up whatever that's getting people crazy. But I don't know. I've been out this game long enough to know that something's brewing and I don't like it. So, like usual, I'm just going to bunker down, keep my bar clean.
Oh, West Seattle is not very welcoming to me, so
to be fair,
will try and keep my distance.
To be fair, the city overall ain't very welcoming, but you know what? The weak die and the strong thrive. That's just how it's always been.
True.
Anyway, don't worry about my problems. I'm sure Percy's tough. He's been at this game longer than I have. He'll pull it around somehow. It's just, ever since that damn deal was signed, this city has been all over the place. But then again, I guess we could blame Duncan for that one. Satan spit on his ashes.
Anyway, see you?
I'm always here. You know where to find me.
Maybe I'll bring a few friends next time.
Make sure they behave. I don't want to have to bring a can of laughing gas in my bar. That won't do too well with a bunch of drunked out biker guys. Trust me, it doesn't work.
You really don't have a lot of faith in me, do you?
Oh, I have a lot of faith in you. I don't have a lot of faith in that thin blood of yours. He's got some wacky ideas that I don't necessarily agree with.
He does, yeah.
I'm also kind of getting sick of him calling me whenever there's a problem. I sometimes like to say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. No more awkward chit-chat. Bye. Have a great life.
I can't exactly use a phone, otherwise I would love to do that.
You might want to work on that. Ghoul somebody do it for you or something.
It's harder than it seems.
Oh, just go find a friend and ask him to do it for you. Anyone but him.
Okay. I'll see you.
Fucking thing.
I'm gonna make my way out to my bike.
Take off. The weather is a little drizzly. Rain coming down. You can hear some distant thunder. It's time of night. God damn it, this dude even cleaned the inside of your jacket and put a tarp over your bike. Fucking Michael. Pull off the tarp and bike's been wiped down. Clean.
Just gonna smile to myself and get on the bike. Start making my way towards the church.
And the cherry on top, the gas tank is full.
God damn it, dude.
No, I really can't help but think that maybe in a different world, Michael might have been a cool dad. Now, off you go. You cut through the city relatively quickly. Traffic's not too bad today. What goes through your mind as you know you're getting closer and closer to that forsaken, desolate spot that you know will be around the corner any minute? What goes through your mind?
Probably every single emotion, but she's trying to shove all of it down. Just look at it, verify what happened so that you can move on. Drive by, leave. Good. So she's just pushing down a lot of emotions.
You push this on yourself over and over again. Walking yourself through like a performance, just like the old days, back when you were still... Let's be real, Haley's not too far away from you right now. Crescent, Haley. As you get closer and closer, it kind of dawns on you. What's the difference? Haley may have died, but you woke up still her. The memories of your sire toughening you up, trying to beat down that creative, laid-back young lady. Taught you how easy it is to take revenge against someone that's hurt you, that ex-druggy boyfriend of yours. Taught you how good it could feel, that power in your hands. That pillar is gone. And what's left? The shattered pieces that you realize. Crescent, Haley. Who are you kidding? That's just the same person from a different angle. Everyone's got their sides. So do you. As you pull up to the street in front of the church. You envision in your mind the tall brick, the church bell at the top that always seemed to gleam clean in the street light. Always that warm glow on the windows, and you almost smile as you open your eyes to look at it, and your heart shatters. In its place, that gleaming beacon of what used to be home is a husk of what it used to be. The wood behind the police tape, long charred and cooled in the rain, you could still smell the faintest traces of gasoline and burning wood. The brick scarred black and crumbled from the stress of the heat fractures. The front entryway barely standing. That beautiful marble and stone archway cracked and leaning on itself from its own weight. A simple breeze might be enough to push it over at any minute. No longer stands the two towers of the La Sombra children that would watch over this imitation of God's house. No longer would you hear the sermons Eleanor would lead, or the organ that Enzo would play. Suddenly all those days being angry at him, kind of wish you could have it back. You blink a few times, hoping that you'll wake up from this nightmare. Maybe vampires can dream. Maybe they still can, and this is just a horrible, horrible dream. And you blink a few times, and it's still there. In the center of it all, see a man. Silhouette of a man standing in the center of the church.
Is it familiar?
No. On the back, he wears be wearing a long black duster coat with a bit of a high collar. His head bald. Even in this darkened light of the street lamps that illuminate this place, you can even see the shine on the back of his bald head. Appears to be the line of some kind of tattoo that comes down the back of his crown, down his neck.
And he's behind the police tape, or?
He's standing in the center of what used to be the church. Center in the rubble. He's not doing anything, he's just standing there. His head moves from side to side every now and then, looking around.
I'm going to quietly approach and just watch, because that's a little weird.
You're trying to be stealthy?
But I don't want to immediately draw attention.
Are you just walking casually, or are you trying to actively be stealthy? I will say, actually, being stealthy might be difficult, because most likely this individual would have heard your bike.
Okay. Well, I guess casually then.
You walk up closer. Your feet scraping against the now ash-covered marbled steps. You look down, the ground is also fractured from the impact of falling debris. Along, you can see some of the more larger pieces, handcrafted gargoyles, ruined glass, fallen out into the well-manicured at one time lawn, now scarred and blackened. You get a bit closer, peeking your head through the crumpled archway that used to hold the magnificent doors of this church. As this man slowly crouches down, he seems to be looking at something on the ground.
I'm still gonna stay quiet.
He stands up after a moment as he turns off to the side a little bit, looking down at his hands. His skin is ivory white. You can see pointed nails off one side of his hand. The side profile. Strong, jawed man. Clean shaven on the mutton chops up to his hairline, where it's all just cleanly bald. Strong, long, very broad-facing nose. Not over large, but just a powerful face that comes down into a patch of a ginger black and orange beard that comes down from the side of his jowline to forward. Maybe a good inch or so. Very well manicured. Hard brow. You can see crow's feet at the side of his face. Maybe an older gentleman. But he looks in his hand, and you can see in his hand he's gripping a pile of ashes. As he just slowly lets it drop in his hands. A slight wind from the rain carrying it a few feet away before turning to mud. And at that moment, he looks, and his eyes meet yours, and you can see his irises are black red. I was hoping I'd see you here.
Do I know you?
No. But I know you. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not a threat. I decided to step out of the darkness for a bit just to pay my respects.
Pay your respects.
Right. Forgot she probably would not speak very much of me. As he turns to face you, smiling. It's a very handsome smile, but the very long, scissor-like incisors that display out of his teeth prominently, very similar to Eleanor's, in fact, exactly like hers. Kind of send a chill down your spine. There's a cold air to him as the lights around him flicker. But then the streetlights go out. The bulbs themselves shattering as you can still see those slightly glowing eyes, even in the darkness, your heightened senses filling in the darkened gray, his shadow looming wide. He tucks his hand under his chest, very well dressed, light suit. Secunders pay respects to one of my own childer. You can call me Tally. It's finally nice to meet my grandchilder. Well, in this case, great-great-grandchilder. I saw what happened. You don't need to hide it. I watched it all went down.
You saw?
Of course. See, Crescent, you've been playing a game in Seattle for a while now. I actually have to personally thank you and your friends for allowing my wonderful kin to proliferate within this city. You did well with Malenkoff, though it does hurt my heart to see him finally fall. I did try, but that man had pain that ran deep even when he was alive. It was only a matter of time. I figured it would happen here.
I'm sorry.
He leans forward, and it simply takes one step, but you blink and he's right in front of you. You feel the wind kind of blow past your hair, and it's not threatening. It startles you. It even makes you blink. He's still a good 4 or 5 feet away from you, but just he's closer now. An instant movement. You barely seem to lean into that. Looks you over.
Stay still.
Tilts his head, looks you over. You're a lot shorter this close. It makes sense that Duncan was able to get the drop on you the way he did. Dirty trick. Effective. But dirty.
Not that I disagree, but not sure how to take that.
Take it the fact that you're young.
I get that a lot.
And you're going to probably get that for the rest of your existence until you see your own childer. If that ever happens.
I don't intend to.
I would hope so. I would hate to see my bloodline end with you. I'm sorry, have I come across insulting? You seem terrified as he just smiles at you.
No, just heard a lot of stories and I'm not very good with words.
Well, I can assure you they're all true.
So, you're just paying respects and leaving? Or...
I'm not leaving this city. I believe Mr. Holland got my note, my invitation for chaos. I'm going to be hanging around this city for probably indefinitely. I have business here, and I'm very interested to see how many of my kin come after me or try to earn their entry ticket into the Camarilla. Wonder how long it is before the Prince Dragos finally gets sick and tired of knowing that I'm hanging around in the shadows, just waiting to see what he does. But for now, when I watched what happened at the church, here, last night, I will say a part of me was tempted to intervene, to pull you from the grips that she put in front of you, and then you caught me off guard. When you had staked her and left her to rot, let her die by fire, cleansing fire. Why didn't you take her? I know your friends were whispering in your ear, and that's fine. Everyone needs someone to look after them. Malenkoff didn't have that, as hard as I tried. But at the end of the day, your choices are still your own. So I'm curious, why did you let her go?
If I'm being honest, I don't really know. I was just overwhelmed with the situation and not entirely confident that I could win that battle.
You know,
and I didn't want to lose myself.
Now that shows true promise. It's good to see that the instincts of my line stay strong in you. Stay stronger where they weren't in Eleonora's. She just could not get over the fact that you look like her daughter Celine. Just couldn't let that go.
Did I what?
With it. Oh, her daughter. Did she not? Oh, of course she wouldn't. Eleonora didn't become a vampire because she sought me out. I made her because she begged me instead of killing her. It was somewhere in the early 1800s, I believe. She had a rough life. Men abused her, used her. village looked at a healer like there was a witch. If only they knew what real witches looked like, acted like. She had a daughter from that unfortunate event, and unfortunately, fate would seem they did the same to her. And when she spoke out against the town, they burned her daughter at the stake. Danced on her ashes. Heathens.
Tragic.
As with most things in life. She begged me to change her, and I could see the strength and the will to survive in her eyes, that burning fire to overcome such a horrible thing that had happened to her. And she was still alive. So I did as she asked. And she slaughtered the town. One at a time. Drove them insane as she did it. I was so proud.
That sounds like her.
Well, if they were going to treat her as a witch, what was the old saying? Be wary what doth do upon another. Ne'er you receive it in return tenfold, or something of the like.
Something like that. If I look like her, that explains her obsession.
Eleanor had many obsessions. It was just... I thought she could make it through. It hurts my pride to know that my childhood had failed twice to overcome such a rigorous challenge. I would hope they would eventually rise up the same way I did.
Oh, maybe I can.
Maybe you will. If you ever need a way to express the pain you feel and need someone to teach you what true power is, something that even outstretches the oblivion, come find me. I'll be around. With that, he just leans over, he puts a hand on your shoulder. It is ice cold. And he leans over and he kisses you very gently on the cheek. Like a father, like a grandfather. Very old-fashioned. Pats you on the shoulder. Have a good night, darling. With that,
You too.
he just walks down the steps. Turns the street. Walks away into the night. Whistling. A very old tune you'd never heard before.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that as my cue to go back to the center now.
You peel off. Well, interesting turn of events. I was wondering how long it would take for Tally to show his hand in the city. Guess Crescent has something else to break the ice with Grayson. Holding on to that letter for so long. It's been a while, actually. Probably like 6 months since you last looked at that letter. It's gathered a little dust.
Probably about a year, actually.
I definitely didn't get rid of it.
Nah, it's still there at the bottom of the pile at the office. What started it all. But now, we bring it back in, to the center itself. The three of you, over time, waiting for Crest's return, as Michael did call you, Grayson, and inform you of her current movings. And assure her that she should be fine. She's got whiskey, whatever that means. You begin to all move your way down to the lab. I do have to ask, do you leave your book behind?
No, the book will come with me.
As you pull the book out, it disheartens you a little bit to see that that once dark red leather the book was taking on has now faded back to that sickly flesh, the eye closed. It looks tired, almost, in your mind.
Question, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's not in front of us, right? Because I haven't seen it.
We were with him, so...
You were with him. So
I haven't seen it, so that would be a very what the frick moment.
He is purposefully not hiding it because...
So Onyx, you watch as Grayson, as everyone's getting gathered up, he's insinuating to move towards the typical meeting place you all like to spend. As he pulls open a few notches, you hear a few wooden and mechanical links move within his desk. your heightened senses, you can hear the manual machine parts whirling, a lockbox sort of vibe, as a drawer is open and he pulls out a very thick tome, the size of a man's torso. And immediately looking at it with your sharper eyes, you can tell that book is lined in the flesh of a man. There is old, slightly rust-looking iron filigree along the corners of the book. The pages immensely old. The smell of old, aged parchment from a bygone era long past, with a technique that is no longer used, fills your senses, and the slightest smell of blood emanates off of it. It is creepy.
Now I'm all for books, but what the hell is that?
Oh,
This is something that we paid a heavy price for in one of our adventures, and it's something that I've unfortunately been very selfish with. As I say this, I look to Acer.
Acer's definitely going to give you like a questioning look, like, all right, no clue where that's going, but interesting that you bring it up type of look. Well, we can discuss it in my lab, since I'm assuming you told everyone that Crescent's coming because Michael called you.
Yeah, I would definitely have.
Then Acer's like, well, it's way down in the lab. I need to check to see if that sample is ready.
Well, if that reminds me, Acer, we actually did get into people last night suffered from somewhat similar superhuman symptoms.
And he's going to point to Onyx. That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I didn't fill you in on everything, but there's some bigger pieces to it too. I guess I'll probably tell him the rest as we walk down.
Easy enough. Before long, you all find yourselves in the center of the lab. And as Grayson, you lay this book out on the table, you hear in the back of your mind, my friend, I'm hungry. Can you spare something for me, please? Anything will do.
Just a moment. Acer, I know. Give me a moment. Do you happen to have any bags?
No.
Let me see.
Question.
That's for me,
Is this that thing's just talking to his mind, right?
Yes, but you do hear Grayson.
I just figured Onyx. I was just wondering if Onyx, being a little kooky, might get a little bit more than that.
Let me look at your aspects. So let's do. Go ahead and roll wits plus aspects.
I'm sorry.
What do you got?
6.
6.
Every time I roll aspects.
While you don't hear the voice of the book in Grayson's mind, you do hear him whispering quietly to the book as he holds it. Every time Grayson speaks to it, though, you swear you hear like the sound of pages shifting over each other, like when you're waiting in line for a meal and you're like shifting back and forth, like a person that would actually be like moving in anticipation for something. You could hear the creaking of the leather spine as if the book itself is actually like flexing and moving, and the edges of the paper breaking across each other, making the most quietest sounds of almost like the sharpening of a blade. Every time Grayson speaks to this book, it almost seems alive. That's impossible. The books aren't alive, but you hear it nonetheless. And almost that slight mist-like aroma of blood just seems to waft off Grayson like a perfume. It's very subtle. To everyone else, they may not notice it. You can smell it. Very light.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm just gonna... I think I have 2 more bags? 1 more bag. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to be like, I got 1 left.
Onyx is going to be staring at it and looks like a cat with her hair on all end real quick. She's not saying anything, but she is very concerned.
Let's turn to Onyx. This is the last one for now.
I'm good. Are you giving it to that? That's what it wants, right? It's talking to you?
It is.
That sounds about right.
It's more of a recent thing.
Can you hear that thing? It's talking to you?
I mean, that's what I'm getting the sense of. I can't hear what it's saying, but I imagine every time that you're talking to it, it's doing something back, and I figure it's got to be doing something.
Thank you, Acer. Appreciate it.
The moment that he begins to hand you that bag, you feel a small reverberation in the book. And Onyx, you hear before it happens, that sounding of that grinding blade sound all of a sudden hits sharp. As Grayson, with your surprise, your arm is thrown open as the book spontaneously opens itself up. The pages curl and twist and snake right through, slamming straight through the blood bag, slicing it open before his tendrils actually wrap around Ace's arm, and the book lurches and clamps down on top of him once again, biting hard.
Oh God, not again!
As the book is now almost like a blender spiraling across Ace's arm, this strange book has now almost amorphed itself into this long, serpentine leather, sharp-paged creature that's just tearing its way across Ace's body right now. You do immediately get hungrier.
It tastes like sand. You're all bullshitters.
Can we help?
Absolutely. If you want to try and grab it, you want to get in the middle of that.
I don't know if I'm grabbing the book. Maybe Acer.
It's just a text of my arm.
I'll grab the book, and as I do, it's like, friend, you need to let go immediately.
Go ahead and give me your unspent willpower plus resolve.
Unspent willpower, okay.
You do get a point hungrier, Acer.
Everyone tells me it tastes like sand. Why is it always me?
I'll say in that case as well, you do take 2 points of superficial damage, Acer.
Got it. Oh, that's where the mysterious superficial damage came last time. I remember now.
That's a saying.
6.
6. Acer, you're actually starting to panic as this book, rapidly in a flash, went from the shape of this book to almost like this fold-in, leather-bound, paper-like serpent with a pointed end, and it's just slithering up the side of your arm in a breakneck speed. Everywhere it moves, you can feel it really slicing into your body like a rotisserie blade, coming up the side of your shoulder towards your neck, and it rears back like it's actually going to stab straight into your jugular, but it just stops an inch from you.
Just... Fuck, get it off now. Get it off, pull it off.
Grayson, you watch as the page just curls back and the pages begin to fall apart, unwoven each other, and as they land, there's almost this invisible like breeze with no source. The pages begin to just unfold and land themselves on the ground at Acer's feet.
I will immediately pick one of those. I want to pick one of those up.
This will be quick as it is moving on its own. Go ahead and give me a... You know what? That's dexterity plus athletics to see if you're fast enough.
Okay. Two, 3, 4.
4. Not quite. As you reach out trying to snag one, you feel your fingers raise it, but then the page slides out so fast. You look at your hand, there's just this deep, deep gash on your hand. Like a paper-thin blade just sliced a good inch into your palm. It sting enough causes you to pull back. You've never had something cut you so easy as a kindred. As the page with a little bit of blood on it flickers away into the stack of pages before the book clamps itself onto the ground, unchanged.
Onyx is... Sorry, real quick. Probably one more roll. Onyx is going to squat down kind of near it, but giving it distance. She's just very curious. And I'm just gonna.
Now. I'm fine over here.
I'm just gonna like kind of whisper to myself, like, "What are you?" And I'm going to try and get a premonition. I just want to see if I can get some backstory.
This will be probably a very high roll, as this is very obscure, but we'll try. Go ahead and give me a rouse check.
Okay.
Acer just punts the book towards me.
Heads up, too. You could pull from the blood dice, too.
There is a large
from it at all today, so.
We've been getting stacked up a little.
I will say at this point, as Onyx is doing this, Crescent, you do make your way to the center and the door is still out.
Am I going to walk into this book madness?
We'll see, because you do open the door at this moment, but Onyx, what is your hunger check?
I'm good.
You're good. No blood yet.
That would be very bad in this situation.
Yeah, it would. For that, this is going to be, as usual, your premonition, resolve plus aspects. You may pull from the blood bag if you wish.
Okay, why not?
How many do you take?
2.
Just be careful, because the mess secrets.
Okay, you take 2.
Yeah. Why not? I'm curious.
Onyx I'll take 10.
Oh, take them
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5? 5 successes. You try to glean into this book with 5 successes. You focus really hard. You feel that vision begin to leak its way through. You feel that pain ebbing forward, and you lean into it, really staring hard. And then the door behind you snaps. You jump for a moment as you're focusing, causing you to just momentarily lose that connection. And that little hook just fades away.
Darn.
Not quite.
Very
hard roll.
Dang it, Crescent.
I'm sorry.
This book
it's because you opened the door.
I will say with 5 successes, as it was very high, that's never happened before.
I'm usually pretty good at that.
You've been very good at that. And usually for you, anything like this, when you try to premonitate something, the more recent something is, usually the easier it is. You get the sense, just by how high you rolled, because your wits is also pretty high, this might be harder to glean supernaturally, because how old it actually might be.
Interesting. She's just gonna that really boggles her. So she's just kind of gonna sit down, like crouched at it, looking almost like just very confused for a sec. Similar to, I'm certain how the crocodile hunter kind of looks at a gator.
Absolutely. And Crescent, you walk in to see Grayson looking very sternly at the infamous book that you recall on the ground, sitting on the ground, and there is the smell of blood. As you can see, Onyx is looking over it, very interested, and Acer looks like his arm just got shoved into a blender.
Oh my god, what the
Hey, you're safe. Hi.
Go over and pick the book up.
Hey.
It almost vibrates in your arms as it returns into your grasp. I'm sorry, friend. I'm just so hungry. It's not enough.
I know.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We will discuss later. For now, I will relay your apology. Not to worry, friend. Relax. I put the book back on the table. I turn to everyone. I apologize for that. He did not mean it. He is very hungry. Lost control of himself. As we all do, Crescent. Thank you so much for returning. I hope your time with Michael was good. I don't know what blood whiskey is, but all sign or something?
Yeah, I'm stocked up on it. Sorry, the book distracted me. All this talk about, like, secrets and stuff, and, you've got a letter from Tally? Where? Why? When were you gonna say something about that? Because that's kind of a big deal. Since, I just ran into him, or...
Stop. You ran into Tally. Here.
Mm-hmm. At the church. He's paying his respects to Eleonora, his childer.
Why now?
Family tree!
What did he say to you?
I gotta be honest, my mind is a little bit blank after all that. If I wanted true power to come seek him out, something about me looking like Eleanor's daughter, and he watched the whole thing and almost intervened, and there's probably other things I'm forgetting, but the letter?
It was a long time ago, back in Malenkoff.
Okay, well, he said he left you a letter. He said he's staying in Seattle. That's a thing. Sorry to burst in with that.
No. You. Oh, God. You
I can
okay?
see we're dealing with a book problem. Maybe that's more important right now, but,
First things first, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot better than Acer.
You raise your hand, Acer, as over on the last digit of pinky just falls off.
The book did that?
It's hungry.
Yeah. Apparently he likes sand. As I look over to
his terrible taste.
Crescent.
Good Lord, I need to go home.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
No.
So,
if I may, I've already told Grayson that I apologize. Crescent, I would also like to say to you, I'm sorry for last night.
You got nothing to apologize for. Everything you said was true.
The way I said it wasn't correct. A little emotional.
I don't think any of us are perfect, Acer. It's fine. I appreciate the apology, but it's okay. Like, you're right.
This one I am gonna need a...
What?
Onyx, I also gotta apologize to you.
A lot of apologizing.
She's a little wary, but she's listening.
That thing with Jordan.
Yeah?
A little scare this morning got me thinking, and I can't do it. I can't just use someone and then throw them to the wolves. That's not me, and it's not going to be me. So, since Dragos is coming, I fully plan to turn him in.
Dragos is coming?
That's big of you.
He is blood tax.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
so not worry. I got things ready.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
just
we're handing him over then? We're not trying to use him for more drug?
No, it's not right. And I'm not going to dive into that. If I'm going to find out the secrets of this weird drug, I'll do it on my own. But
I'm glad you see my side. I appreciate it.
Well, anyways, yeah, it wasn't right to bring you in like that, especially after I exploded on the other two.
I was going to say, for someone who likes to know ahead of time what's going on, that was quite a shock to me.
That was very hypocritical of me. So,
she'll just, go over and pat you on your non-injured side and be like, big of you to recognize that.
That being said, went a little overboard, but yeah, I just want us all to be on the same page again. Also, I may need your guys' help with something later on down the road. A party, but we can talk about that later.
You'll see Onyx peek up very much at that. Party?
Party?
I got roped into a party.
Oh, you're talking
what
about
kind
the
of
whole
party?
Annabelle thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
She's... What's you for a party?
Yes. Annabelle decided to cash in her boon rather quickly. And decided that in a week's time, for the entirety of the party, I am to be her...
Correction, the entirety of the night.
Thank you. The entirety of the night, I am to be her date.
Please, can we tell me I can go and watch this?
I absolutely want all you guys there because I don't know what she's planning, but I would just feel a lot better if you all were with me.
Problem. She said that party was in West Seattle.
You guys have a problem with West Seattle?
I specifically have a problem with West Seattle. And these two will remember very fondly. Yeah, I stepped into West Seattle and we've got conflict.
Immediately.
Maybe I can... Maybe no one has to know it's you. She said it was a party. She didn't say what it was. Maybe I could, drop a masquerade party. We all wear masks. No one knows it's you. Seriously, I really need you there.
I mean, I do have hair dye.
She has hair dye.
Don't touch my hair.
I think you're more of a very, dark shawl over the face kind of gal.
I was thinking just one of those,
dark shawl?
Am I going to a funeral?
I mean, my funeral, possibly.
No,
I am going to be Annabelle's date.
It's one day. I have all of the hair supplies, makeup, and dresses if you need.
Which she looks really good in a dress. I've seen it.
And if you are going to a party, then I'm going to need to dress you.
Well, maybe. I kind of have something.
What?
I just don't like to bring it out often.
Very concerned.
I am also concerned and also not convinced.
All right.
For the love of God. And he's going to go over and he's going to open the side where you can see all of his cosplay at.
Oh, no.
He had an entire row of it.
Here we go.
Surprisingly, however, he pulls out one that's entirely white and looks like a very nice, formal suit and tie.
That's going to be looking good, covered in blood by the end of the night.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it doesn't get to that, but this is all I have, and, I kind of want another reason to use it again, and, it's a party, so
I'm going to pull out that whiskey, swirl it, shrug, and take a swig.
Onyx is very concerned.
You immediately feel the revulsion as you, forgot to mix the blood, and immediately it hits your stomach and comes right back up.
She has whiskey?
Yes.
I'm grabbing a shot.
Okay.
Immediately as you lean over and you try to hold it and retch, Onyx comes and takes it and just takes a quick shot out of it like it's nothing.
Point is, it looks nice, and this way I don't have to ruin another one of your suits, yeah? This time it's my suit that gets ruined if shit goes south.
I was going to say, I was figuring you could buy me a new suit and I just help you pick one out as well.
That sounds like a good idea.
Still going to wear the cosplay. It still looks nice. I'm going to do it.
You can wear parts of it. You cannot wear the entirety of it.
Look, if I'm going to be forced to be some crazy lady's date, I'm going to do whatever I can to spite the bitch.
Oh.
At this point, Acer, the door opens and Dracos is standing there.
And immediately puts it away, closes it, and hides his arm, and just... Oh!
Prince Dracos. But slight bow.
He steps inside. Following behind him are several individuals as well. As Dracos just casually walks into the room, he nods to you, Grayson. His eyes scan over the rest in the room. I don't need heightened senses to know that you're speaking ill of Annabelle. I don't want to know. As he looks around, And as he kind of begins to like almost circle each of you, he begins looking at the lab, just looking at things very rapidly, his eyes wandering. As he does so, 3 others join him. As one after one, Sun Chu is the first to step in, and she immediately moves to the farthest corner away from everyone that she can.
I'm immediately
lock
glaring.
sides with her. Yeah.
Immediately glaring.
The violence
They
in this
almost
room
said that in sync.
The violence in this room is palpable between those two Onyx as you look to see this rather beautifully ivory-skinned woman of maybe Chinese, some kind of Asian descent. Recognize her vaguely from the small times you dabbled in Elysium Court, just to keep a bead on the vampire world. You would know at some point, through the grapevine, that this woman is the Princess Herald. Essentially a speaker, the messenger.
Yep.
Why these two individuals of Racer and Crescent seem so venomously and obviously angry at her as soon as she walks in, you don't know. That's curious.
Correction, mine. I've simmered down a bit. Mine is less angry and more just, I know you're here, and I'm going to talk to you. It's more intense.
I'll rephrase it. The hostile intent is there.
There you go. There you go.
I'm making sure she doesn't touch or take or wipe blood on anything.
She's not doing anything. She only...
I am watching every move. No.
That's fine. You can watch her all you want, as she does move to a very obvious section of the lab, making sure to keep a reasonable distance between everyone. Very unnerved, obviously stressed to be here yet again. Behind her, Onyx's favorite as well, Neka just... He begins just kind of walking in, looks around the room. How you ever doing, everybody? Hey, Mr. Holland, how you doing? Comes by, walks back to you. He pats on the chest real hard. It's good to see you. Good to see you still in one piece. You look down, there's a grease stain on your shirt.
Well, that's why I wore the other shirt. At least. Neka, welcome.
It's a spiky place you got here. Little too bougie for my taste. As he clambers up onto the nearby counter and he squats on top of it. Just looking around, looks over you to Onyx. Hi, how you doing?
Smile and wave.
Smile away, boys. Smile away.
I see you're still clanist. Cool, got it. And after that, Damon actually walks in as well. The now deputy. As he walks in, looks about the room, seems to be more on a business. He seems to be checking a lot. You see a small glint to his eyes. He sniffs a little bit. Or he seems to nod and step inside, looking around the haven, taking another spot of the room. At this point, the 3 of them have made almost this triangle shape on the entire interior of the lab, with you all in the center. As Dragos finally makes his way around, looks around. Is there a place where I can sit that isn't garbage? I can't tell if this is a college boys' dorm room, a lab, or a degenerate's clubhouse.
We're in Acer's lab, right?
Yes.
Yes. There's a computer chair over there if you want to take that. It's pretty comfortable.
He looks at you like you just insulted him.
It was either that or the beanbag.
I mean, I passed some pretty fancy rooms around here. Other than this, can you get something else?
I agree. If you want to change scenery, I am all for it.
We could move to the office.
I'll just stand. I'll just stand.
Fair enough.
Hope you're all having a lovely night.
No.
He looks over to see your arm. Quite. You might want to fix that.
I'll fetch everyone's refreshments. Don't worry, Grayson, I know where you told me to get it. And I'm going to go do that.
Hey, sir, very awkwardly kind of sidesteps around everyone. Drago's just watching as he slowly leaves the room until he finally leaves the door. Fine. Guess I need him here to advise me regardless. I bet you're all wondering why I decided to show up in person.
Does pique curiosity, certainly.
Well, there are a few things we need to discuss. Things of a greater importance that, well, I thought it fit that I handle it myself. Before I get into that, there are a few things that I need to address. First off, Grayson, thank you for your ghoul being so prompt with supplying a disposable body for your blood tax. I'll consider that rendered payment, which makes my next bit a bit more merciful. I'm just going to come out with it. Grayson, I saw through Annabelle's memories of what she saw through yours.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to tell me that has not been told to me yet? I ask you because, unfortunately, this is where the burden of leadership comes in.
If you're asking about the Nosferatu, then yes. I did, in fact, sanction that.
Fine.
Which was, of course, not my place to make. Rash decision. But one I made with the Masquerade's best interest in mind. You saw what I had seen. He had no interest in keeping the Masquerade, keeping any alliances or anything like that. He was simply a mad dog.
Go ahead and give me a composure plus persuasion.
Do we get to add any leadership to that, maybe?
I'll allow a +2.
Okay, so you said composure
plus, charisma plus persuasion.
Our haven only works on mortals, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. How about 5 successes?
5. He nods his head. I appreciate your candor. But take this as a warning. There will be no unsanctioned killing unless it's in self-defense within the city. I understand the situation. I saw the memories. The fact that you saved this thin blood that apparently became pivotal in our future does lessen the irritation that I discovered that despite how loyal you are, even you would withhold information out of fear. Which in a way I guess is understandable, given the state of the city at the time. Going forward, I will not be so lenient. Do not do this again.
Understood, my prince.
Good. At this point, Acer, have you come back with some blood bags?
Well, definitely not blood bags. Pretty sure he would have my head on a pike for that. Do we have any, decent... I know we don't have fancy cups or anything.
There would be some in my room.
Okay, so I'm going to go get those. And if I am going to use the bags, it's probably going to be the ones that were freshly taken that don't have the chemicals in it yet.
Okay.
Because I know better. Because these two have already slapped it in my face already.
You have to learn somehow, but fair enough. So I'm assuming you go to Grayson's room to pick up a full occult paraphernalia and use some fresh whole blood.
Yes. And to that matter, if there are any extra bags, I would like to take at least one so I can try and heal my arm.
You have a very sizable herd. Slating one hunger is not going to be a problem.
Excellent. So I'm going to do that. And then I would also like to try and heal at least one superficial to get my arm. So I'm going to do that. And thank God I succeed.
The open flesh wounds on your arm begin to rapidly knit and tight. And a little bit of that nub begins to heal over and start getting back to more adequate size.
That's better.
Fingers heal a little quicker.
So yeah, after that I will try to make the presentation as nice as kindredly possible. And
give me a charisma plus etiquette.
Oh, God damn it. The one time I actually try to be nice.
Why'd we send him for this?
Why? I just wanted to get out of there. 2 success. Which is the max I could do because I only have 2 die.
As Dragos is continuing, there's a small bit of small talk that occurs between the both of you as some current states of the city. It's a little chaotic right now. He begins talking about how, essentially, to understand the gravity of his appearance at the moment. That is when Acer comes in. He has on a silver tray several goblets. You all immediately can smell. That's fresh whole blood. Thank God he can grab actual bag stuff. As Acer opens the door and he walks in, and you see he does actively try and straighten his back, put a hand behind himself to look real as possible. And he begins trying to show a certain amount of submission, handing goblet after goblet to your guests. In front of the prince, he does walk towards him, and he watches, he stumbles. And the goblet begins to lean over towards him as he leans forward on the tray, holds a very awkward position that looks the cross between a weird lunge and a overzealous bow.
As Acer just kind of goes...
Dragos just, in fact, smirks a little bit, leans over, and takes the goblet off the tray. Thank you.
You're welcome. And he will take his place against the wall.
He actually does lift up the goblet, looks at the blood inside. Well, at least I can appreciate the fact that Mr. Holland does have taste in old relics. This, at least, is not fake.
It's difficult to find authenticity nowadays.
It's a city. A lot of things come through the ports. Regardless, moving on to the matter at hand. Since I saw Crook's demise, it leads me to be suspicious. Hey, sir, I have to ask now, as you are my primogen, is there anything else of note that you have lacked to report to me, as you are the one very quiet at court? Reasonably so. You are looked at like a meat skewer in the middle of a buffet full of cannibals, but this gives you a moment to speak freely. I wish to get business out of the way before I present my little game, so to speak.
We currently have a thin blood named Jordan locked in our padded room.
Go on.
Despite the fact that he has been turning people and then subsequently killing those who've turned, he's also been in league with what I believe could be a known anarchist.
He nods.
Truth be told, I was going to use him to try and flesh out the anarchist, but after crunching some numbers and doing a little research, I'm starting to understand a little bit of why you do the things you do. So,
at this point, he does tilt his head over now, very interested in what Acer has to say. His eye has a short little gleam to it as he raises an eyebrow. And after using your mind and deductive reasoning, what would you recommend, my thin-blood advisor?
He has to pay for what he's done. He has already broken several camera law. Can't go unpunished.
Porcelain.
Thank you. There are 2 that he turned that we are currently housing in our facility. Porcelain and her childer.
Porcelain, I remember. It's been a while since I've seen her in court. Makes sense why she's gone missing for so long. He grimaces a little bit at the thought. She used to be Newberry's pets. Oh, we'll be happy to know he's gone. Now, about her childer, I don't think I sanctioned any childer. Am I to understand, and this is me just stretching a bit, the Thin Blood managed to get a hold of one of our own and use her as a glorified sow?
Yeah. Yes, sir, that is correct.
Well.
And, of course, your rule is law, but if I may, she really does care for her child, or whatever you decide goes, but I would like to keep them together if at all possible.
You are new, at least to court. You've done the numbers, so you would know. As close as porcelain may be, that is another fang in my city, one that I did not sanction. Any unsanctioned kindred, by law, are to be purged, culled. So, you show such a great interest in protecting these two.
I've begun to see things in a new light. And with the upcoming party, I do have a couple of ideas that might bring in some more people here and there. Could help balance things out in terms of flow.
He looks over to Grayson. Do you think this individual will be a flight risk? I don't want any accidents in my city anymore. And I will be cracking down on any haven. It becomes too messy.
In regards to Porcelain and her child?
Yes. Porcelain I'm not concerned about. You may be Malkavian, but as he glanced over to Onyx, I have learned to respect those that dwell in the cobweb. But Porcelain has always been a little traumatized. More than most. At least on the surface. I worry that trauma would spread to her own childer. You know what? Let's make it interesting. Acer, you actually did well. I'm going to reward you. You're speaking up like a primogen. So how about we make a bargain? Prince to primogen. A life for a life. Porcelain and her childer will be your responsibility to keep an eye on. They're outside your clan, yes. But you were the one got on out of the way to try and vouch for them first. So be it. In exchange, Jordan dies by your hand. Now, you are a primogen, and I warned you in the room with Nathaniel. The burden you now carry will become heavier every day for the rest of your eternity. This is part of it. Choice is yours. He's going to die either way. But if you want Porcelain's child to survive and see if he can prove himself valuable to us, then Jordan will die by your hand.
Agreed.
So be it. Damon. Actually, sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Grayson, may I allow my deputy to retrieve the prisoner?
Please, Acer will show him the way. You don't mind?
He just nods in
yes.
motion.
Let's take this way, as he kind of just presses on the wall and opens up a little secret passage.
Damon follows right behind you. You lead the way up the secret passageways, and Damon stays very eerily quiet. Not in an uncomfortable way, but in a... You get the sense he's done this before.
And as I lead him up, I'll go ahead and just kind of unlock the axe that we kept up there. Yeah, I know where it is. I've seen you guys use it.
Damon puts a hand up. I'll carry that downstairs for you. It has to be done in front of the prince.
Right. Okay. And with that, I'll go over to one of the cells and unlock it.
Damon takes the axe and he holds it just at his side. As you unlock the door, you see Jordan on the inside. He immediately pips up, anticipating. He wakes up like, well, did you think about it? We have a deal, right? I've already got all these plans we can do about this. Well, you know what? You will not disappoint. We've already been really working on here, and you can see he's actually been scratching on some of the fabric inside of the cell. As you can see, some very rudimentary chemical formulas he's been jotting down with his sharpened nail. Now, I really think if we just turn the heat up just a little bit
Jordan.
more... What? At this point, he leans over to see Damon standing behind him. And his face just slacks.
Scratch out what you have. Say nothing.
Pulls his claws out and he just makes it across the fabric on the ground. You're just like them. Fucking played me. How's it feel? Got what you wanted. I gave you information. Speaker of a thin blood primogen. Should know better, get my fucking hopes up. You're just as bad as they are. Oops. This is it?
I'm just gonna open the cell wider. You gotta come with us.
He's just staring at you. You could feel the anger coming off of him. You see his hands are shaking. You see Damon standing behind him. You hear the sound of that grip clutching the wood. That moment of anticipation of, will he run? Will he try one last desperate attempt? Do you look him in the eye?
At first, no. Acer is really regretting that he couldn't give this person another chance to turn his life around. But then after a breath, he decides that he's going to see it through. If he has to take the consequences, so be it. So he'll hold steadfast and he'll look Jordan in the eye.
Did you even try to convince him? To convince your psychotic friend? You give me another shot? That I was just doing what it was necessary to survive? Or did you just roll over like the prince's fucking lapdog?
I'm sorry. I really am. Come on.
He hesitates as he stands in that cell, looks behind him for a moment, nods his head. You know, I hope you know that I actually believed you. And he'll walk past you. Damon just leans out and just grabs him by the shoulder, and Jordan tries to shove it off, but those nails just dig in tighter. As Damon leads him through the secret passageway, into the empty celled room, and you peek inside slightly before you start turning away. Jordan hadn't been working on a little bit. He'd been working on a lot. It doesn't really make sense. It's just scribblings and notes and thoughts, just glancing over, but almost an entire wall has been scratched into.
If there are any scribblings left over that it looks like it can be legible, I'll go ahead and just scratch them out. Make sure that nothing can be read or gleaned from this?
At this point, you just make your switchblade just tear across the fabric and tear it off the wall. Comes off in shreds. That's going to need to get reupholstered later.
And then I'll lead them back down into my lab.
It's a long, quiet moment before Acer and Damon return to the secret entrance in the back of the lab. Damon is ahead of it as you all see Jordan. He's showing a face of defiance, anger. It doesn't take much for all of you to see the hurt that's on his face right now. His hands are shaking. You can smell the fear coming off of him as his eyes lock into the prince, and Dragos snaps to him immediately. There's not much reaction on his face, but Onyx, you have a high wits. You can see the emotion that comes off Dragos' gaze. It's not hate. It's not anger. Not even disgust. As Dragos already knows what must be done. What he has seen done 1,000 times.
Onyx is not fazed by either one, by whether Jordan is trembling or the prince. She gets it.
Damien leads Acer and Jordan to the center of the room, where Damien throws Jordan to the floor hard. Stumbles, hits the ground before Dragos' feet. His hands split out as he looks up at the prince. At this point, as he towers over it, you all feel almost unnerved in front of Dragos' presence. His very form, almost daunting. Even you, Onyx, you feel that tickling of fear in the back of your throat. Whether you resist it or not, it's still there. The tension in the room becomes almost supernaturally charged. But any type of luster that Jordan has just melts in his presence almost instantaneously, as the pure amount of fear that radiates off Dragos. He looks down at him. You know, Thin Blood, I wish I could leave you with some parting words, but you're not even worth the time. As he looks over to Damon, who simply hands the axe over to you, Acer.
Just kind of takes it and steps to the side of him.
Dragos leans down, still holding the cup. Just reaches down, grabs Jordan by the hair. As he with one arm just picks him up, so he's sitting on his knees, holds him out in front of you. As the prince of this city, it's by my right and authority I sentence you, Thin Blood, to meet the final death. Looks to Acer. He puts his hands up, holding against the prince, who's holding his neck back. As his eyes just lock into you, and you just see Jordan's head is just shaking. You can still do something. Like, then don't do it.
I'm sorry I couldn't give you your second chance. And he'll swing.
The axe hits through cleanly in one swipe as Acer puts a full force behind it. Head separates from the body as Jordan didn't have time to scream. The body twitches for a moment before hitting the ground. It begins to rapidly decay. Within moments, turn to dust as Dragos drops Jordan's head into the pile. Very good. Well, now that little business is taken care of, we can now get forward to actually things that matter. Son, sweep this up for me, please. This is filthy.
I will take care of that.
Nope, you're going to sit down. It's time for business. Damon, can you take the axe, please? We're done with it. Yes, my prince. As Damon just comes by and just begins to take the axe from your hand, and he does look at you like, just let it go. So, Now that that's taken care of, as Sun just scuttles behind him obediently and begins to just finds a little dustpan in your lab, Acer, and you watch as she just quietly keeps her head down and begins sweeping. Crescent, you want to play sheriff. Is that still something you're interested in trying to do?
Yes.
Very well. This is the current standing. People have already begun whispering about Eleonora. That's going to be my 24/7 job, to deal with that. Luckily, the information you provided me, I can validate, so I get ahead of this before it becomes a problem. At least on our side. In the meantime, there is a rising issue in this city. It started off as hearsay, but now has grown to a problem that I am growing concerned about. So this is the game we're going to play. For now, Damon's going to be acting as sheriff. Temporarily. I still haven't forgot, as he looks over to him, his little outburst during that meeting with the La Sombra. But I cannot be sheriffless either. So he'll stand in on probation for now. While you lot will get to play sheriff. Here are the rules of what I expect. And it's only one rule, but pay attention. A sheriff always acts with the city, Camarilla, and the prince's best interest in mind. No more, no less. A sheriff does not need to be reminded. A sheriff does not need to be told. A sheriff seeks out a problem, takes care of it, cleanly, quietly, without a breach, and then reports it back to me. However, that is the rule. Crescent, your job is to handle this task as you see fit, with the freedom of a sheriff. If anyone gets in your way, or this coterie's way, you are acting on my behalf. That should help cut a lot of the red tape. But I would not be offering you any advice. There are times where a sheriff will report to its prince step by step. This is not one of those times. You want to prove your worth? So be it. Then I will judge to see how you and the rest of your coterie is done. But you, most of all. Is it still worthwhile? Do you think you've had what it takes?
Yes.
And what about you, Mr. Holland? Do you think she has what it takes? So soon after her own sire's demise.
I'm going to turn to Crescent.
Looking right back at you.
I do have complete faith in her. But I also will not understate her importance to me and my coterie here. She has been our knife, and actually a better way of putting it, she has been our cloak and dagger. She has performed this so fantastically, I don't think we would still be here without her help. So yes, I know she is. I've never had a doubt about that. I say this, I look directly at Crescent.
She's going to continue to stare at you. It's going to take a while before she looks back at the prince.
Well, all right then. At this point, he finally does take a sip from his drink. A long one. He downs the goblet in one sitting, not barely spilling a drop onto his outfit. He leans over and he puts the goblet onto the table. Ever since I made this deal with Maldavis to keep Nathaniel at bay, till we would have room to take down Duncan without any additional consequences, has been nothing but a headache for me. Knowing that these anarchs move so swiftly through my territory, through my city, it's nothing short of unspeakable. However, As Acer has calculated, the more pressing matter that needs to be attended to is the fact that this city cannot contain the amount of kindred that are welling up within it. The full gravity of this, there's not enough blood to go around without causing problems. The elders know that. That's why they sent Nathaniel, especially with Duncan. You see, to gleam into my existence, you all, at times, fear me, respect me, whatever you call it, and always know that if there's something that's going to happen in this city, as he points to Aoneka, I will hear about it, one way or another. But I am not the strongest in our world within the Camarilla. There are older, stronger than I, that govern not a city, a state, countries. I look over on many other princes, on many other shadows, and many other archons. There are creatures in this world that are older than you understand. So we bought our time with Nathaniel, and now we can recover, but this threatens everything. There have been a rampant increase of normal kine dying within our city from some type of substance that has been trading by hand. As he snaps, Damon comes over as he pulls from his large duster jacket on the inside and flops down a few files onto the counter. We've already got a hold of a few of it. As far as we can tell, it shares a lot of similar tastes to a street drug known as ecstasy. That I'm not concerned about. What I am concerned about the fact is that whenever these things are taken, mortals suddenly think they have superpowers. Trying to jump off buildings. Trying to see if they can hold on to a speeding sports car. If they could suddenly arm wrestle their school bully. I don't really give a fuck what the reason they're doing it for. The point is, it puts them in such a euphoric state that they kill themselves. Or worse. Now, the city has always had a bit of a heroin and ecstasy problem. But this is out of control. We have a few leads on individuals in this city that you all can follow up on to get yourself started. Take a look at the files as you wish once I'm gone. The objective is simple. My request, remedial. I want it to stop. I want those drugs gone. I want to find out who makes them. I want them to be dealt with. And I want it to be stopped. Permanently.
Consider it done.
Wonderful. I trust that Crescent places her trust well in her friends. And that you all will not disappoint. If you all have any questions, now would be the first and only time to ask.
Storyteller.
Yes.
Really quick. I never connected the security camera in my room back. Is it still disconnected?
It is.
Oh, this is going to get me in a lot of trouble. Keep an eye out for Hurricane.
His eyes look to you.
Jordan worked for him.
At that point, you do see his jaw tense. He just simply looks to Aoneka, makes a gesture with his head. It's good to get busy again. Cracks his knuckles as he gets up. Damon, you gonna meet me at the usual spot? Yeah. As Aoneka just jumps down off your table. Good luck, Red. Welcome to the family, yet again, as he walks by the prince and walks out the door.
Pretty sure that's all I got.
Anyone else?
No questions here.
My prince, I do have one.
Looks to you.
So I'm to understand that we all have the authority to make the decision when we find out who this is.
Correct.
And take care of it.
Correct.
And so, do you need any updates during that time, or do you want this to be done anonymously?
Remember the one rule. The only rule I've given you. So I'll respond to that with a singular piece of advice. In return for the candor, the small meal, and knowing the city's a little bit more in order. Whatever choices you all make, remember, it won't come down on any of your heads. He looks to you, Crescent. It'll go down on hers. After all, I think Acer now understands the burden of leadership. As do you, Mr. Holland. Does that answer your question?
Well, it does, my prince. I do. Thank you for that.
It's good to see Bertrand's instincts and intelligence passed on to you as well. Maybe he was not as zealous as he proclaims to seem. Good. The time frame as soon as possible. Carry on. And thank you for the meal. It's been interesting to finally see the haven that so many neonates have been whispering about. I can understand why it seems so formidable. Hope it stays that way. Like that, he'll dip his head, and he turns. He simply begins walking out. There's a sun dumps the last of Jordan's ash into a small waste bin nearby you, Acer. Puffs out a little bit.
She's next to me?
Yes.
Okay, that works.
Threats.
Really quickly then, I'm just gonna mutter under my breath, loud enough for her to hear, and just say, I couldn't give him a second chance. Maybe I'll give it to you instead.
Ooh.
And I'm not gonna look at her, I'm just gonna mutter it, and then just start picking up all the glassware, throwing it in his sink, and just start washing them.
You all watch as Sun visibly kind of halts there with whatever Acer said. The two with heightened senses heard it clearly. Or Sun just looks up at him for a moment, straightens up, and gets the hell out of there as fast as politely she can.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I am quite curious to see what's inside these. However, I would like to address one thing first.
I'm listening as Acer's still washing out the goblets.
Thank you for that first. I walk over to the desk and where the book is, put my hand on the table, and I turn towards everyone. Acer, do you have a place that this can sit?
You safe, bottom corner, in the closet. If you need to put them in there, the code is 2386.
Okay. I don't touch this book unless one of you knows it and is with me.
The moment he says book, because Acer believed he was talking about the files he received, he's going to turn and be like, what?
I said I will not look at this unless someone is with me.
You're going to kind of set the cup down, walk over and be like, so you're keeping it?
I am. I, without a doubt, believe this book can bring us more good than bad. However, at the same time, I'm not 100% sure that it wouldn't drag me down. That is why I'm counting on you all to pull me back up if need be. This does not replace any of you. doesn't change our relationships. It's merely an addition. And if I were to be asked to do so, I would have given this away. It was the choice of keeping you all alive for another night. I scan the room as I say this.
Ace is going to put a hand on your shoulder. Glad to have you back, Shepard. And he's going to go back to washing the goblets.
I don't understand the significance, so I'm just taking the corner like, sweet. Don't know.
Grayson, put a hand on the book. For now. You safely tuck it away in a dark safe. There are more pressing matters at the moment, as the prince has given you all an order. One that may very well lead down a path that Onyx might find oh so cathartic, but that remains to be seen.
I'm gonna go for the folders, but instead of taking them and reading them myself, I'm just gonna open them in full view of everyone so they can see them as well.
To those that are looking, the dossiers as they're opened up, they're not very conclusive. The first folder shows a single paper with a picture on it of a very gaunt-looking man, Chinese descent. Very leaned-in features, dark black hair pulled tight into a bun, appears to be wearing some kind of lab coat, maybe a mortuary. No, he's a mortician. Looking down this quick amount of bio by a man in the name of Tian Ru, mortuary assistant for the Evergreen Mortuary Services. You can see a small symbol that has been marked onto the picture. Grayson, and even Onyx in this case, go ahead and roll a intelligence plus occult if you're paying attention.
Okay.
We got 3 successes.
3?
Just 2 for me.
2. 2 is enough. 3 is successful. Onyx, it takes you a minute to recall that symbol. Grayson, you catch it a bit quicker. This particular symbol is the branding that would be left behind for a known ghoul. So, easy to say that Tian is of the world of darkness. Not a vampire, but a ghoul. Though, Grayson, with a 3, the symbol is slightly different. This would lead you to believe that he is what you would call a stray. A ghoul with no master. A mortal individual that probably has an affinity to keep his ghoul nature up and running, even if he doesn't seem to have a known master. The other two dossiers that are splayed out have no biographies, so to speak, like this one. While Tian's dossier gives a failing description about his age, his height, his size, where he works, that's all it offers. The other ones, though, are just pictures. Blown up still images of various different individuals. They are rough and tough-looking. Probably younger, men and women, in between the ages of 18 to 25 at least. It doesn't take much to kind of get the vibe that these are derelicts. Individuals you probably don't want to mess with. Maybe street gang affiliated? But there's one unifying detail that Onyx you pick out the quickest. Every single image of these individuals, they all have a similar tattoo. The very last image in the last dossier appears to be a map of Seattle with circles drawn on several locations within the city. Probably hangout, maybe territory.
Does it match anything of what I've seen? The map that I have with club notations?
Actually, yes. It's within a reasonable distance of these. One such location would be the docks down in West Seattle.
Okay. Is any of them close to the pit? The one that there's supposedly a...
Yeah. The pit itself would be off near Alki Beach specifically.
Cool.
While the docks would probably be maybe a good mile or 2 away.
Do I recognize the gang tattoo?
Go ahead and give me a wits plus streetwise.
Oh, that's good. I'll take that.
Well, we are dealing with some of your strengths.
Remind me again, has Onyx talked about that she was already tracking these people down before?
Nope.
Only to Grayson.
Okay, thank you.
The most you've gotten out of her is
actually, no.
the drug.
I did mention the drug to you. I asked you to research the drug, but no, I didn't give you the rest of the information.
Okay, thank you.
But I did ask you about the drug, and I did mention its side effects, I think, when we were walking down to meet the prince.
Yes.
Correct. Yes, you did.
So, yeah, there's that. And I rolled an 8.
8 successes.
8 successes.
The image that you see that peeks through a lot of people's neck collars, shoulders, forearms, hands, where you'd want this tattoo to be easily displayed at a moment's notice. You know this tattoo. It's a call sign. It's something that you would flash another member of a rival gang or a similar gang to show your allegiance to this particular pack. This street gang are simply known as the Harpoons. They have a lot of the individuals there. It's not a massive gang. It's usually been only up and around for the past 10 years or so. You have heard of their leader by the name of Jane Hadley.
Say that again?
Jane Hadley. Hadlee. Jane.
Hadlee.
Yes. Known rap sheet based on your memory. Assault, battery, smuggling. Definitely in the drug biz. She has definitely been caught being a head of a dealer. Most notably, recently, it makes sense that she would probably have some kind of location somewhere as a hive and be in the middle of this. Gang, roughly 15 to 20 members strong, known to be armed, known to be violent. Police tend to steer away from them if they can, just because they have yet to find a way to get an in with them. They have any undercover agent they've had usually winds up on the police station with their head cut off or a harpoon through their neck.
Cool.
You would know, though, that just keeping an ear on the street, they are big on hush money. If you have a problem and you can pay for it, they're always open to listening to make a good stack of cash.
Okay.
Not sure about any kindred affiliation with them, though. Most that you could get a beat on is they should be mortals.
Good to know.
Well, 8, that's a lot of information to give for 8 successes.
Yeah. Onyx eidetic memory is just taking note of all that. I'll write it down later.
Story question.
Yes.
Did the results of the drug finish yet? Did we do that last time?
Yes, you had you had those spinning off. Yeah, they were spinning off the day before.
They were going.
Yeah.
Oh, they were going. I just don't think that we've
You haven't checked on them yet, but you would know right about this time they'd be done.
Okay, Acer is going to go check the results of that.
I don't believe we had you roll for that yet. So go ahead and give me an intelligence plus science, and you can add your lab bonus to it.
Okay. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
5 successes. Because you go over the initial report that has been spit out onto your printer, and now that everything has been analyzed. The main components of this concoction, the drugs that you have instilled, definitely resemble the ID marker for ecstasy. A lot of the simple quantifications. However, there have been chemical adjustments. Based on the report that you're giving, this type of substance, when combined the way it has, is very similar to how you make alchemy. It's not exact. And I'll be clear about this. It's not thin blood alchemy, but it's similar. Splash of Vitae kind of figured out the overall chemical compound is very similar to blood with a few abnormalities, like hemoglobin, etc. Usually gives you the idea that it's blood that's been dead. But with the throw-in chemicals with it, any human, so to speak, that takes this stuff, they're going to be getting hit in the face with such an adrenaline high. This is the kind of grades that put people in dangerous categories. calories. This is the kind of adrenal levels that a substance could provide that allows someone to flip a car. There are reports of mothers brutally injuring themselves to save their children from burning vehicles, or feats of abnormally extreme instantaneous strength under dire circumstances. This type of enhancement supposedly will give such a euphoric high that you won't realize the damage you're doing to yourself, but you'll feel amazing while doing it. It is a very complex compound, but something that could be replicated pretty quickly.
So would this be similar to kind of like ghouling, except the person has no control over their own thoughts and abilities?
It would be similar, but much more acute, very short term.
Okay.
It wouldn't have the same kind of, at least you theorize, it wouldn't have the same kind of effects where when you ghoul someone, there is a loyalty to the person that ghouled you, but it does come with a certain addictive quality. While there is a general enhancement to one's overall physicality and pain resistance.
Okay, so what Acer's going to do is he's going to print out the papers. He's going to grab the stack, and he's going to go to Onyx and hold them out to her.
I'll reach out slowly and grab it. And just look at him seriously and say, "Thank you. I will take your help. But where I'm going tonight, genuinely it's best if I don't bring a crowd."
That is fair. However,
especially a primogen and a hound. No offense.
Fair enough.
Is there a way
then
we
it
can
seems
help from a
like
distance?
I'm sure. I mean, it might be nice to have a panic button. Sorry, this is new for me. But, genuinely, I have a little bit better rapport in the club scene than I'm sure most of you do.
Yeah, that's not my style.
And I will take a look at Acer's printout, and it confirms what I already knew. So I will hand it back to him and look at it and point over to the prince's stuff and be like, "That might be something that you could pursue for me, as well, and keeping a watchful eye on your cell phones in case I do need help." And then I will relay the information that I know about the gang.
I'll say with that. You mentioned the gang. Do you also mention where you're going?
I'll just be letting them know there's a club I need to visit, along with maybe a particular gang spot, and it is directly in the middle of West Seattle. And I need to go right now.
If that is the case, at the very least, would you let someone around to rush in case things get hairy? I mean,
all right, I'll go. I know. I say this with a smirk.
I mean,
wow, you didn't take much convincing over there, did it?
Yeah, actually, that's who I was going to suggest in the first place. He looks the least noticeable when walking around.
I mean, dressed like that, we might have a problem.
We can change that up a little bit. I'm sure you have maybe some hair dye for you, Liv?
Oh, I've got plenty of that.
Excellent. So then, I'll back her up then. You both can maybe get a little bit better look on this other character here. It's not usual that a ghoul runs around without a master.
That being said, how do you feel about walkie-talkies? Long range.
Not in the club.
There's got to be a better way that I can help in this situation. At least, just be on the outskirts as backup or something, because I'm not good at anything tech.
I mean, whatever you can do, I guess.
She's very good at stealth.
Crescent, you know your reluctance for West Seattle is more of a hazard. As long as you don't cause a big scene, you could probably get through the city. It's just dealing with any brouhaha in West Seattle, especially if they're not 100% loyal to Percy, it is a hazard. But you can go through. It's just definitely something you have to be aware about.
How much of that hair dye you got?
Quite a bit.
I have a lot of hair.
You do. Look, if you can stealth and stay outside of the club, that might be best. But if you think you can stay enough to be close by, we can work on that.
I can definitely manage that. I'll just hang low.
Sounds good.
So, I will get started on this. You two get started on disguise, hang us back up for her, and we reconvene before the night's end. Yes?
Sounds good.
Aye, Mr. Brummagem.
Let's go get ready for the night then, I guess. Wait, how much time do we have in this particular night?
Well, luckily the night is still pretty young.
What time is it?
Currently, let's say it's roughly about 11 o'clock. It's not too bad.
Okay.
You guys had spent the first few hours dealing with the initial drama of the night, dealing with Jordan finally having to entourage the prince. I'll say it's a couple hours. You still have quite a bit of night left.
All right. We'll want to get there by midnight. Cutoff times. Onyx is going to pull out her phone and check the dress code. Most clubs will have a dress code listed, even if it is rough and raunchy.
This particular club has a pit. Funny enough, it is a headbanger pit. So,
yeah,
heavy letters, studs, mosh, anything you can think of, just a real Al-Kai dive. It is definitely a place where you wouldn't see anyone in high heels, you wouldn't see miniskirts, you would see probably the more grungier sides, and you really don't need much of the website to figure that out, as
sick.
Most types of dives like that don't have a lot of public information. If you know, if you don't know, you don't belong here.
I will look Crescent up and down very slowly and just ask, what size are you?
Why?
Just seeing what I can work with. Let's go. And I will turn around and just start walking towards my car.
God, this is going to be a repeat of medical.
I get to play dress up.
Okay. All right. Well, I just had one more thing I was going to do before that, but okay.
You can. I'm just...
I'll meet you in your room. You don't have a room.
I don't have a room.
Can I meet you somewhere in like 5 minutes?
My car.
Beat up garage. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That garage has taken a beating. Mr. Holland.
Don't make a mess on the seats. I've heard the reputation of cars around here. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm not in a particularly foul mood right now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I am right now. I should be fine.
She'll just continue on towards her car. She's very uncomfortable right now. She's leaving. Her skin is crawling.
There is that awkward smile of, I like this, I also don't like this, as she is leaving out the door at a slightly brisker, composed walk towards the garage.
Also, sorry to interrupt super quick, but I forgot one thing that Onyx will probably turn back around for.
Okay.
I need to find something to eat that is of a specific kind, because I should not walk in there with 3 hunger. I forgot about that. So she'll probably be wandering back. No, I don't want to have to pit stop, so I'm going to try and see if there's any kooks around here. I'll probably go find Acer or something, I don't know.
I'll go ahead and mark that on my side. It's a subtle advantage. This is where it pays to have a large herd, even if the drama comes with it. Any final business for you two?
I'm good.
Okay. Crescent. While all this is transpiring, dare I ask, what have you been up to?
Dare you ask?
Yes. No.
I'm just going into my room to get some ammo.
Going through your supplies, your high-caliber rifle from Duncan is still perched up against your room, partially unwrapped. Still no ammunition for that monster, but it's there. And you have your old reliable, and your 2 knives. Ammo's getting a little low. after that event with Eleonora, you're going to need to restock soon. Ready to ask Acer about that.
I'll probably make my way to his room next. Enzo's not anywhere in sight.
Well, Enzo doesn't really have a room. He has your room. As you begin prepping around, you hear the very soft footsteps of Enzo off the corner. And you have to take note that he likes to skulk around like that. Makes you wonder how long he's been waiting there.
I'm going to ignore him and keep packing.
So, going out again?
Yeah. Living the best unlife, I guess you could say. Risking life every...
To be sheriff? I didn't peg you to want to jump in Eleanor's hot seat so fast.
I'm just gonna keep packing.
Okay, you're mad. Alright. He walks over and sits on the bed. He leans forward like he's bracing himself. Come on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't give me that horse shit. You're mad. I can see it. You're counting your bullets again. Do that when you're mad.
I have to count my bullets.
You know how many bullets go in that magazine. You're mad.
Yeah, I am.
Why?
I care about you. I want to give this a second chance, but it's not going to happen if you can't respect the coterie that I'm with.
It's not about respect, Crescent. Look. I don't mind Acer. Little shitbag's got a sharp mouth for someone who's,
Enzo?
Look, I don't mind Acer. Grayson? Look, Grayson's a good guy. Don't you dare tell him I said that. He will never let me live it down the way I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I worry about him, though. He's weathered.
Okay.
But it's not my place to judge. No one signs up to be a leader. Leadership sucks. Being in charge sucks. You give him a lot of crap. Like,
you're included in that group.
Yeah, well, I didn't choose to be included, okay? This is more of a desperation thing, and you asked me to stay. Which I don't regret. I'm going to be stuck somewhere while I'm trying to reorganize my own ribcage. Looks around your room. This is not too bad place for it. Gives you a bit of a coy smile.
Grayson isn't perfect. None of us are.
Absolutely not.
At the end of the day, he does want to help people. Acer may be a thin blood, but that thin blood has done more for me than...
That thin blood is overreaching and lucky.
That may be. Still has good intentions, still is a good man.
I trust good intentions the same way I trust, someone walking around hiding a dagger in their cloak. Good intentions.
That may be so, but if you're going to be around me, then you need to trust him.
Look, I'm not going to be telling you who your friends are. You made that very clear when you left the church originally. And I'm not trying to slap you in the face with that. That's just the honest truth of it. You left the cathedral. You showed Eleonora her allegiance. And frankly, I don't blame you. You did what I couldn't do. You got away. It's the only reason why I'm still alive that you did that.
Onyx was a part of that.
I worry about her. Coming from experience with dealing with Malkavians, nothing against her as a person. But whatever she dealt with in life, that is literally what she became now. She has an uncanny knack of poking her nose at things that doesn't belong, and she doesn't have this good sense to leave things alone. And that's going to get you hurt. And then that's when I'm going to have a problem with. Acer, he poked a sore spot, and I'm not really recovered. Don't forget, I was stuck down there for a month and a half.
I know.
Still, I did take my embarrassment out on Grayson. say it, I will deny it, venomously, out of spite. I am sorry for that.
I'm just saying you can't keep acting like an asshole around here.
The only reason why I'm here is because Grayson finds me useful, but he hates my guts. I'm not a stranger to it. I don't care if people hate me. But he hates me. He hates what I did to you, he hates our history, and he hates me. The greatest thing that I am right now is I am Grayson's bodyguard. He is paying me in blood and a roof over my head so I don't get burned up by the sun, to make sure no one else comes sneaking in here when you guys are not around doing whatever you guys are going to do in the city. I'm a glorified doorstop. I guess desperate and picky doesn't really go together. But Crescent, I am sorry. I did not intend to pick a fight. Okay, I didn't. For what it's worth, I do appreciate the unfortunate situation I found myself in. Especially because we have a lot to sort through. Don't think I didn't notice you just say, give this a second chance. With that, he gives you a bit of a side-eye and a smile.
Gotta go.
He reaches into his pocket, he pulls out the crescent moon necklace. You don't look complete without it. I managed to,
Thanks. I'll reach out and take it.
He puts it in your hand, but as slick as he is, he curls his fingers around your wrist. He gives you that side look, slight smile.
Yes?
I said I was sorry.
Do you want a medal?
No, but if we give this a second shot, I do distinctly remembering a rule of never leaving the room angry. I believe that was your rule.
I don't know if I can keep up with that.
Well, I'll be here. And with that, he just tugs you a little bit, just places a small kiss on your cheek.
I'm gonna turn and go try and find Acer.
As you walk away and make your way back towards the lab, with your heightened senses, you can't help but notice after a few minutes, you hear the faintest sounds of the very small piano in the church section of the center begin to play. Same song plays every day. But you make your way through the passages as Acer, what are you up to as Crescent walks all in?
Acer has disconnected any audio or video stuff connected to his computer, just in case. Phone is disconnected, and you're going to see like a little pen and paper right next to him with a little list on it of several things he needs to stock up on. However, at the very bottom of that list, you see like a little question mark where it just says possible Enzo's room and possible Onyx room. But other than that, he is actually on the computer trying to access that back door into the police system.
That's probably going to come around. What are you trying to glean?
So I'm trying to get into their system and type in the information from those guys from the file to see if I can have a match. I know it's going to take some time to do that. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'm pretty much just trying to get any information on anybody in those files.
So you're trying to... Are you looking at this TN, or are you trying to look at the gang?
I'm looking at them specifically. Not so much the gang, but them specifically.
Notable individual members?
Correct.
Okay. For this is going to be an intelligence plus tech. And this is only allow you to do so because of the back doors, no bonus.
Okay, done deal.
But Crescent, you walk in, as you can see Acer. He's doing something. He's in a mojo. You lean over and you see that nerdy face of his when he's got numbers and words going through his brain.
Curiosity is probably going to get the better of me. I'm going to take a few steps forward till the computer starts to react, and then I'll take a few steps back and be like, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it auto-saved. Hold up.
Still good.
Okay, we're still good. And that's going to be 4 successes.
4 successes. All right. So.
Yeah, that's with bonus.
Looking at notable members for the gang specifically. Of course, there's Jane Hagley. She has got a rap sheet. She has been in prison about 3 times in the past several years. Just recently got out on parole. Though, funny enough, she has missed 2 parole hearings. If she gets pulled over for a cop, they're going to bring her in. So she is wanted. The last time that she was put in jail, for domestic battery, possession of illegal substances, mainly heroin, as well as dealing and distributing in illegal custom firearms. The next one would be a Joseph Navarro. Just recently got out, around the same time that Jane did. Was actually brought in as a smuggler. Pretty clean rap sheet up until recently, but definitely no violent crimes for him. And then the last one you got pulled up was a Stephen Parnell, Mexican descent. He has a very long rap sheet. He's been in and out of prison for the past 3 or 4 years. Also recently got out about 3 months ago on bail. This one, his rap sheets are all violence. Domestic battery, domestic assault with a deadly weapon, assault with a deadly firearm. But he has also recently got out.
The last 2 people, was he out on bail, or was he out on escape, or did he serve his time?
None of them have served their full time. For one reason or another, they have gotten out early from their sentences, whether it be by bail or just somehow have gotten out of the system.
Okay. In that case, I'll relay that to Crescent, and I'll just be like, well, whatever's going on with these guys, they seem to have some nice strings that they can pluck.
What do you mean?
None of them have served full time. All of them have gotten out some way or another. There's a couple.
They're supposed to be mortals? Ghouls?
At this point, I'm under the assumption mortals, but they are psychotic. Murder.
Great.
Black market dealings, all that fun stuff.
I suppose this is probably a bad time to say, if I'm gonna go in there and be their backup, it'd be kind of useful to have some ammo for that sniper rifle that's in there. Obviously, you can't get that overnight, so we're gonna have to go without it, but if we do survive the night, as per usual, I might need some ammo for it. Might be more helpful for me to help them. Here.
Right. The pen and writes down sniper ammo. Pauses a second. And then writes 1 case.
1 case? Really?
I've seen the way you shoot. Accurate, but you go through a lot very fast.
Is that all our friendship is worth? How are you, seriously, after the whole thing?
I mean, I'm doing fine. I'm good.
Answer, don't lie.
I would never. I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah, which is why it's blatantly obvious right now. The whole thing with Jordan.
He kind of stops what he's doing, closes out of the back door, just, don't want to be caught with it, and just kind of turns in his little swivel chair. Look, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know I can feel this way towards a kindred. I mean, Duncan was one thing. He was trying to kill us. It was self-defense. And before that, it was Sun, which honestly didn't mind wanting to take her out.
Yeah, I heard that comment you made. So I guess I'm alone in this now.
I gotta put it somewhere.
Yeah.
Just beforehand, I hated Kindred. I hated this world. I hated everything about it.
Oh, I know. You've always made a point of making that clear.
But that's changed now. I mean, I still...
it's gonna get around to other Thin Bloods, though. And this might cause some drama. Not that we're not strangers to drama at this point, but...
Seriously, what don't we do that causes drama at this point?
At this point, I think just us faking breathing would cause drama.
I thought it could help him. I thought he could be, another team member if given the chance. Now I won't know if I was ever right or wrong. And I don't know if that sucks more than knowing I was wrong.
Yeah.
But
I get that a lot, actually.
You do? I gotta admit, I'm a little surprised. You're always so good at what you do, and, the whole lone wolf thing kind of works for you.
Works a lot less now.
Oh, that's
applying what I said to Onyx, It's nice to have people around that actually give a damn.
We very much do.
I know. But, not knowing if you could have changed things, if a second chance would have done any good. I see why Grayson's kind of giving up on that whole thing.
Funny. I started embracing it the more I knew him. I hope at the very least Onyx sees that I'm trying to do right by her.
I think she does. It's just coming from experience, it's really hard to go from being on your own to having people that actually care.
And she had the same nervous tick you did when I built the place and told you had a room up there.
You're thinking about building more rooms, huh?
Oh, and he kind of just flips the pad upside down. Yeah, just a couple.
I think it's a good idea. It's good. Well, we might need to also work on bumping up security and everything. Just making sure the place feels more safe.
You think we should add more people?
I don't know if necessarily more people, but buffing up the people that we do have might be good, too.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
In any case, that's for another time. Are you ready for when we go out?
I'm counting on you guys to come back safely. I can't do it.
You're going to be close by, though, right?
No, not this time.
Are you going to just stay here and walk you from in here? Won't that put you in a vulnerable state for Hurricane?
Hurricane's already all over my systems. That's why I'm staying here. Any communication with you guys means communication with him, and I'm going to be honest. For Onyx's sake, I don't want him meddling in this. He already has strings on me. I don't need him having strings on everybody else.
I thought you guys said he was already watching everybody else, so what does it matter?
He's watching you guys through me. He's in my systems. Can't exactly watch you, which is a bonus. Grayson's still vulnerable, and now that Onyx is around, she's just another backdoor that he will eventually access if I'm around. So, gotta keep it low tech. I'm sure because of what I just did, he now knows about the backdoor into the police system. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna mess with that. But, calculated risk.
Well, I gotta go meet Onyx, and some reason she wants to do a makeover or something. I don't know. I'm wearing all black. I don't get why.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with your iconic flaming red hair.
I'm just gonna dye my hair black or something. That'd be weird. Or interesting. Most Lasombra actually do have black hair. I feel like I should have black hair.
I gotta be honest, I've always seen you in like a blue. Maybe like a dark blue. I don't know.
Blue hair? Really?
Nah, I thought it'd be fun.
That's like a recent teenager thing. Oh god, I sound old. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go. Good luck, please don't die. For real, die, you know.
I'm
Hurricane, if you can hear me at all, fuck you. Okay, anyway, I'm good now.
Well, on top of the fact that I disconnected all the microphones so we couldn't hear us, he also wouldn't be able to hear you because of your nature, so...
I know. I was just having fun with it. It was more for me than for him.
Okay, fair. Have fun.
Yep.
Just
you too.
All three of you come back safe.
Don't we always? Ish? Somewhat? Maybe one arm missing?
Okay, really? That only happened twice.
Twice? Like, one arm a year. Maybe we'll switch to legs.
Back?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go meet up with Onyx now. Alright, cool. Yeah, good talk. I'm gonna go to Onyx's car now.
Alright. The three of you, Grayson, Onyx, and Crescent, I'll say by this point, arrive roughly around the same time. The three of you, what is your plans?
I will be heading to my place really fast to change and get in better attire because I will not be just trying to storm in there and play cop. We will be trying to blend in. Yeah, we'll probably stop over at my place, get a change of attire, get some things that I need, and then I will drop off Crescent in the very close vicinity with her giant gun.
Well, she's leaving
the smaller ones this time. I don't have enough ammo for the one.
Okay.
But you did mention some kind of makeover. So the glaring problem that you're about, Onyx, is you guys are trying to set up a deep undercover type maneuver. Crescent is recognizable as she is, despite very well matching the theme. And Grayson, well, let's just be frank, he looks like he's way too posh.
We're going to work on that.
Grayson definitely looks like the guy of not going to the venue, he's going to hire somebody at the venue. So, what do you do?
Turn him into Pimp Grayson again!
Oh, no.
Yes.
I've got a different idea.
Literally murdered the moment I walk in if I'm Pimp Grayson walking in there.
There you go. Sadly, with Crescent, I am not going to be doing like a full-blown makeover, but I would like to try and help her hide as much as possible. And unfortunately, with flaming red hair, there is only two places I can take you within a reasonable amount of time as we are trying to be fast. And that is either dark brown or jet black. Your choice.
Oh, dear God.
As you guys walk into Onyx's abode, everything in a pristine organization, she walks you into her bathroom area where she opens up a sliding cabinetry of a much larger type of medicine cabinet type style and opens up. There are hair dyes and hair accessories to galore, organized by color, style, age, expiration, perfectly FIFO'd, all of a very high-end brand. You name it, she's got it.
It is right next to a closet that has anything from straight up Louis Vuitton to Hot Topic. It is everything.
She has amassed a decent collection over the years.
You've really got a lot of stuff here.
Well, I imagine you're fine in what you're wearing, right? I mean...
I'm more than fine with this, if
easy enough. I mean, you're not going in. And then I'll turn to Grayson and kind of look him up and down and be like, that is not going to cut it where we're going tonight. So, give me a second.
I'm referring to you on this one.
Start to go through my clothes, and as she's doing that real quick, I'll ask, did you pass by Acer at all? Did he find anything before he left?
Yeah, some info on the people. Seems they've gotten some records on them.
For brevity, can I just say that I told her the details so she can pass it on?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I kind of blanked out for a second there, and it kind of...
Oh, it's okay.
That's good.
So sad. I don't have an actual look for this.
Aw.
I do at home.
I could put my hair on yours. I'm imagining it is probably this color.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, Acer was saying something about none of them have finished their time, but for one way or another, they've made it out of prison, and then I'll fill her in with the rest of the details, but I know that was the main one she was looking for.
That will freak her out. And then you'll kind of catch her pause for a minute as she's looking through outfits, and she'll debate whether or not she's debating how much she wants to tell you guys. And then I'll just say, I don't know who's able to get a hold of him since he doesn't have a cell phone. Let him know to look if they have any connections on their records or on any of their reports to an Officer Anatovna, an Officer Beckett, or anyone named John Green.
I'm going to look over at Grayson. You got that?
Yeah, Anatovna and you said Green?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
And then as I'm at that point, I'm starting to pull out a bunch of ripped skinny jeans and trying to guess size because he hasn't told me.
Going through a lot of your stuff, you have a lot of women's clothes for you. You haven't really had to dress for a man.
Doesn't matter with the punk emo scene, though. They wear their sister's pants, and you know it.
Oh, absolutely. Grayson, overall, I would say you're more of an athletic build, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a little bit more athletic.
So if you want to try and squeeze him into some women's pants, you certainly could. I will make the small comment that as you're going through things, there are options that could work. The clothes that fit him the best, some of Declan's old stuff. As you're kind of looking around,
I know.
Looking through the gear, Grayson is a hair shorter, per se. But looking through a lot of the stuff that you kind of smirk as you pull up some skinny jeans, or Grayson, you wonder if your equipment will even properly fit in some of those things. She giggles to herself, but you do see Onyx begin to slow down a little bit as you go through your supplies, and it kind of starts hitting you that a lot of Declan's stuff would fit this scene, and it would probably fit him the best.
Yeah, her face will fall, and she will get a lot more serious, and almost very businesslike. The fun is going to kind of come out of it a little bit. And she will pull out an old pair of real thick black denim, almost like greaser motorcycle pants. They will have a lot of the, ridges and padding. Very 1960s, old school. And you'll find a couple of old black band tees. Not of any bands that you know, but they do look very vintage, and a old denim jacket that looks very, very worn. And I will hand it to you very solemnly. And then in a quiet voice, I'm she'll just kind of move on and be like, I'll go find something for your hair.
Am I picking up on any of that?
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's hesitancy.
Absolutely. She's very stalwart as an individual, but as she hands over the supplies, you can almost see the tinting welling up at the side of her eyes, like she might just start crying any second as those clothes leave her hands. She almost seems to go abnormally rigid, where for a moment she was having a good time, just enjoying the shocked expression on your face of what she might be trying to cram you into. But it fades almost abnormally fast when she actually just hands you simply clothes that seem to fit. Almost as she's just trying everything she can to hold herself back. Even more so, Onyx, as you're kind of rummaging through the supplies, you hear Declan's voice in the back of your mind.
Oh, no.
Well, it's been a long time since you aired that jacket out. Couldn't stand to take a look at it sooner, huh?
That will make me flinch. But I'm not going to answer out loud.
Nothing to say? Just gonna Keep your mind on the work, huh?
I will think to myself, because I know this is my head, and I will just say, that one looked good on you.
It's a good jacket. Served me well. It's comfortable. You'll enjoy how warm it is, as you happen to just glance up a moment you could swear to see the reflection of the mirrors. He's standing right behind you, and you blink almost as shock, and he's gone.
So, yeah. She's trying to not give away that something is happening, but you'll probably see the same ticks that y'all saw in the sewer when she was starting to see things. And I will shakingly rummage through and look like I'm kind of pulling out different dyes. And forgive me, what exact hair color do you have again?
I believe a salt pepper gray, correct?
Yeah, the little tiny bit of silvery in it.
Okay.
As you're rummaging through Onyx, Declan's voice in your mind, oh, no. If you're going to make him look like me, you want to go a few shades darker. He's going to pull off that jacket, you want to look like me. I do it right.
I don't think I want that. I will say that one out loud a little bit.
You sure about that?
No one can look like you.
I don't know. I think you're not giving him enough credit.
It's still not you.
Still not me. Still not me. Still not me. Still not me. As that voice seems to just almost echo away very distantly, where it's not as sharp as it was, but just hovers there a little bit too long.
Onyx will turn back around so that she has hair dye and will be back to giggling and pretending that this is the best thing on the funniest thing on the planet, and then she will be like, all right, I think black for you. I'm feeling black. We might be able to take it there.
I can dig it.
We don't have more.
I think I dyed my hair once or twice when I was younger.
And I will then grab the clothes out of his hands real quick, and I will lead him over to a chair as I gingerly set those down. And, quickly proceed to pull out the supplies I need to dye his hair.
Now, Crescent, I'm not gonna lie, you're making me very tempted to roll for hair dye, but for the sake of brevity, we'll spare you the pain if you wish.
I hope she knows how to use hairspray. The early aughts was full of it.
No. She would have done that.
You know, like Sun-In or whatever from the 90s?
Yeah.
What I will make you roll for is mess.
Oh, boy. That is why I asked her to step away from my closet.
Roll for just straight. Give me dexterity just to see. Just roll for dexterity.
Just dexterity?
Just dexterity.
Oh. Okay.
I say this out of experience because she used a lot of that Roots red touch-up, and it gets on everything.
Okay. Oh, no.
So, Onyx, as you're going through gearing Grayson up, after maybe about 10, 20 minutes or so, he's starting to look... Actually, you start following into the same motions and how you would do Declan's hair back in the day.
Oh, no.
Helping to trim it, touch it up, style it this almost the same way. Before long, you kind of find yourself slipping into this memory, looking over behind him as you kind of run your fingers through his hair the same way you do Declan's. And Grayson, it's nice. She's very, very gentle on you as she actually works through you very quickly. And... Onyx, you almost find yourself kind of getting lost in one of those numerous, just quiet evenings that you would have with Declan before getting him looking good before a show. And it abruptly cuts you out as Crescent comes out of the bathroom. Her hair looks great! With your keen heightened senses, though, you see a film of brown fog on your wall, on the door frame, and it's coming out into the room through the air. That was a brown fog bomb, and oh no, it's on everything. You already know.
I will quickly tell her, just shut the door. Shut the door.
Okay,
please.
Sure.
Great.
You see just a little bit of that puffing around the edge of the door frame as the door shuts.
That stuff really spreads. That was not my fault.
I just take a deep breath as I'm still applying it to his hair and brushing it. I'm probably styling it now, gracing it back, and just taking a deep breath and not looking at the bathroom.
Grayson looks like he jumped out of Grease.
I'll laugh at that. I'm like, I don't think it looks too half bad. I mean,
no, it doesn't look bad.
With the motorcycle too, or the motorcycle pants, it'll look great. I mean, you've got the. It looks just fine, Deck. Grayson.
What?
Huh? Sorry. We're good. We're good, right? Let's get you dressed.
Yeah. No. It. Oh, okay. It has been a minute. Okay. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's go. Dude.
And then I will go to get changed as well. I will grab a couple pieces out of there, and my hair was in a braid, if I remember correctly. I will go do my makeup very quickly.
Yep, your hair was just shock bright, fresh the night pink for you when you woke up.
I'm not bothering to shave it. I am just brushing it. My hair looks it's going to be its natural, pretty wavy look, which looks great on its own.
It's your pink punk. It's good. As you come around, though, I'll say you're visibly taken back. It's just enough. As Grayson also steps around roughly at the same time, wearing Declan's jacket, wearing one of his band tees, wearing one of his old leather jeans, coupled with the shoes that he normally wears. For a moment, you actually watch as Declan comes around that corner, greased up and ready for a show, and you almost lean into it just wide-eyed before you snap back and realize Grayson just standing there, fiddling with a jacket, looking a little uncomfortable in the attire that he's wearing, but it shocks you, but not enough to send you off on your feet. It just stuns you for just a moment. I'll say, Crescent, you realize that just for a minute, her eyes going to go wide and lean with a smile before a wave kind of crosses over her face as she seems to shake something off.
Not bad, right? I mean,
it's fine. And she'll just keep walking out towards the library. I'm going to look through for any maps I have on that area. Near the club, schematics, things for Crescent.
Okay. For that, go ahead and give me a wits plus streetwise. You can have your library's bonus.
Cool. Key. 5.
Both of you watch as Onyx very quickly begins pulling out almanacs and everything else that she's got in the area of public records of the local city, and before long her entire work desk instead of this library has become almost this militarized planning set as she has just spread out all these different bits of information. The 5 successes. The pit, so lovingly nicknamed, is definitely somewhere near Alki. What's the junction between 56 and 57? So it's got a great view of the bay. Luckily, Alki itself is on the slope. There are plenty of places for Crescent to pick from and hide. Lots of alleyways, lots of tight corners, and, well, Alki is one of those places that get real dark once the sun goes down. One thing that you are concerned about, though, is Alki, even at night, is a popular hangout spot. There are going to be a lot of people there, regardless of the time of day.
I'll just let her have the pieces, the schematics, and I'm sure she can figure out the best places to hide. But at least I can give her the boost.
So we have a signal or something for if you guys need me to jump in. What you guys?
Well, you can't very well carry a cell phone. So actually, I will grab a pair of watches from my armoire in my bedroom. They are very old, and she will see that. I will hand her one, which is smaller in size, and I will hand you that, and I will tell her to wind it up. And I will take the other one. These have no real electronic parts besides radio signals and magnets. Essentially, the beeper before the beeper. If one goes off, the other dings.
Okay.
As long as they're within a mile or so. So as long as you're close enough, that should help.
Okay.
And I know that I'm pulling this out of my butt, but I do actually have one of these watches in my house right now. So
I actually know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You have to wind them up daily.
Yep.
They usually have uranium on them so that they glow at night.
Usually uranium glass.
They are basically like gimmicky walkie-talkies where they will like They work off radio signals. I have one that has it's like a walkie-talkie thing, but it's like essentially as long as they're within range of each other.
It's the proto beeper.
Ding it. Yeah, you can ding it.
Okay.
And it should not require, electronics.
My hair like that. Sorry. Okay.
Well, double checking her bane. Preston, as you wind up this watch, doesn't seem to be bothered by you. It's mostly mechanical.
All right, this is new. I could get used to this. This is good. All right, so they'll just ding the thing.
If you hear a beep, come in after us.
Gotcha. I can handle that.
Perfect.
Look at that. Something I can actually still get through for Christmas time.
You know, I didn't really get to the last Christmas.
Lip.
Joke? Okay, never mind. Let's go.
Gray definitely bit his lip on that one.
You definitely sense there's a moment air of awkward in the air for just a small brief moment.
And I know the reason it's awkward because I got Crescent's entire life story in a vision. So.
Yes, you did. I'm going to go ahead and double check on Acer here. What do you have in mind, Acer, as you've stayed behind?
He's going to be feeling still pretty down about things, but what he wants to do, since there really is nothing else much for him to do, he wants to study the composition of the drug, and he's going to see if he can make a counteracting agent.
A counter agent to the ash serum.
To whatever that drug is that is going to go.
Like a detox.
Like a detox. If I can get it to work down quicker so they have it at less time.
Okay. So this will take some time. Go ahead and give me an intelligence plus science. You can add your lab to this. I'll say this takes you the first couple hours of the night as you're trying to almost more in-depthly understand that the serum that you were injected with.
Not the one that I was injected with, the one that I studied for...
Oh, the drugs. Okay.
Yeah.
The drugs.
I misheard.
The superhero drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
5 successes.
Air drum roll.
I heard 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, using some more of the sample you have left, you're running a bit low, just mind you, so trying to push these things further is going to require more pretty soon. Maybe one more attempt on something if you want.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, this would actually be the last bit of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So this is probably your last swing at trying to glean any more from the substance that you have, the sample that you've been provided. Funny enough, this stuff isn't cut on the street. This was almost pharmaceutical grade. It wears off and metabolizes by what your equipment's showing very quickly in the bloodstream. The problem isn't the drug. Hydration and rest is really also a need. It's kind of like coming off ecstasy. The problem is that you worry about is not the drug. It's what people do while on it. That's the problem. So the best recommendation you can think of, if someone's on this stuff, strap them down to a table and make sure they can't move. Based on the compounds you see here, well, yes, it does put a certain level of stress on the body. It does no more so than a dose of steroids and a shot of ecstasy. Well, yes, it has some pertinent effects. It wears off, probably, you would guess, anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. You have no idea on this initial success if there are any chronic issues that could come around consistent use, but at least the initial drop-off is not too severe. It's just the fact is, by what you're seeing, most people don't make it to long-term use.
Okay, I wish to go look for medical.
Got it. It is not hard to find, as after you get through your supplies, you make your way over toward the more medical ward of the lab, as she is actually currently with several individuals who are in chairs donating blood. And she's going, okay, John, just keep it raised. No, don't try to be macho. Just keep it pressed and raised. I don't want you bleeding all over the floor. Oh, hey, sir. No, damn it. And she, clamps down on this guy who tries to, give an impressive flex towards her. Do you want to pop a blood vessel? I have no qualms about stitching you up, but please don't. Okay, thank you. As she's manages to keep his arm raised. What do you want? What do you need?
I'm here to help you out.
Why?
Because I need your undivided attention. As I kind of gesture, it's more about the kindred side, and I don't want anyone hearing.
She puts a finger up and looks around to the 4 others in the room that are all either in the process of donating blood or recovering from the process. Nobody move. If you're all on your best behavior, Miss Medical will bring cookies.
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 Extra cookies for good behavior, okay? Yes? Good? All people just kind of look to each other and smile and nod, like, okay, good. She points and walks out the door with you. The moment you guys are in the hallway and she closes the door, she leans again, crosses her arms, and leans against the wall and gives you the biggest raised eyebrow you've seen off of her. Long time. No see. No talk. Where's Crescent? Is she dead? Wouldn't know. She hasn't come see me in weeks. You know, by the way, I'm doing better. Healed up. No longer burned from her friend's invasion of privacy.
Okay. First off, glad you're doing okay. You're looking great, by the way.
Shut up.
Crescent's fine. She's out again. She'll be back. Hopefully tonight.
Right. Were you just trying to give me a babysitting check-in, or is there something you need from me? Because at this point, the only time anyone in this damn building seems to talk to me is, hey, I'm hungry. Send more blood bags to Acer's lab. Or, hey, let you know your friend is still alive, even though she hasn't spoken to you in almost a month.
Well, one, yes, I did want to give you an update on her because I didn't know if she told you anything.
Nope, doesn't talk to me.
Okay, I'll be sure to send her your way when she comes back.
I might just go start sleeping out in your lab just to wait for her to show up at this point.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Well, I would love to meet her new best friend that Rudy keeps mentioning.
Oh, she's a peach. You're going to love her.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Love the pink I've heard about. Matches my car.
Oh, you have no idea. But, yeah. So, 2, I did actually need your advice on something. But 3,
if you killed someone again, it's probably best that I don't know about it so I don't get angry.
Actually, I need your medical advice.
Oh, that's a rare thing I don't hear very often. Okay. Shocked? Yes. Interested now. Speak. Words. Go.
Okay, so, have you heard about this new drug going around the place?
Look, I don't know anything about it, but I've had about 4 people that I've had to deal with on that stuff. 2 of them were fresh, and they flatlined on me.
Yes, well, I did a little research into it, kind of dissected it a little bit, and it turns out it seems like one of the ingredients happens to be, and he kind of gestures to himself.
Of course. Well, that makes a lot more sense now that while I was trying to save someone with flatlining in front of me, Danica and Rudy just show up with a dude that smelled like beer and piss and just wheeled him out the front door before I could even know what was going on.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with that. But, I had an idea. These guys are clearly off the rocker and clearly get some kind of strength from it, but I wanted to know, reacting with the body, what would be the best serum to numb the muscles or just straight out, like?
You mean, like, drug a person so they can't move?
I would say more numbing, maybe paralyzation.
So drugging someone?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Look, I don't know how to make the serum degrade any faster in their system, and not exactly a whiz kid with this.
There's a lot of ways to... I can't believe I'm talking. I take you on a one fucking day, and now everything I get in return is medical. I need you to go drug someone. Crescent never talks to me. There's a lot of ways to inebriate someone, okay, sir? You could hold them down. You can strap them to a table. You can get them drunk. You can slip them a Mickey if you can find such a thing, which I'm not condoning. A good shot of morphine is enough to get someone so loopy that they'll just fall to the floor. There's a lot of ways to subdue someone.
Oh, morphine could work.
Are you asking me to give you vials of morphine just to go walking out onto the street with? You realize I could go to jail for that, right? Oh wait, who the fuck am I talking about? You signed my paycheck. You would go to jail.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not asking you to give them to me. I'm just asking for your advice.
My advice? My advice is all fucking stupid, and I'm pretty sure the guy that got wheeled out on the gurney before I could save his life is probably dead, which we'll come back around to. Now, that might be a me and Grayson problem. With proper planning and being prepared, subduing a patient that's gone erratic is not hard. It just needs proper planning, and you guys have the facility for it. So, in a pinch, short of taking him to a hospital, here would work too. But if you're talking about something quickly and in the moment, holding them down is the best way. Short of drugging them to the point of comatose, you might just want to hold them down. They're people, Acer. Like, they're not like you or Crescent or anyone else. You know, their bodies has limits. I mean, yes, there are substances that can make you kind of ignore those warning flags of, hey, you're hurting yourself, which causes a certain level of problems. I mean, back in the old days, Vikings would take Wolfsbane and go into a full-on bloodied rage, but the problem was the fact they weren't being stronger, they were just literally ignoring their sense of pain. So, when you're kind of running into that kind of problem, it's less about keeping them from hurting themselves. It's more about trying to restrain them without killing them. People under effects that ignore pain, they ignore the warning flags. So in the short term, just try your best not to kill them by accident. They won't know the difference.
That's the exact kind of advice I needed, because this new thing that's spreading around, it doesn't just let them ignore the pain. Because of the added ingredient, it actually increases their strength.
Which is a problem, because if they're not like Rudy or Danica, where they're a little bit, and but they're not like Crescent, who's a lot of well, now you're dealing with essentially like Superman with a human body. If they'll think they can do these things, and they can do these things, but their body's not going to be immune to the damage. So, the best thing I can say is not necessarily how to subdue them, is just do what you can to not let them kill themselves by accident.
So,
will catch up with them.
So, is there any kind of drug that can let them, chill out without OD?
That's a hard question, Acer. It depends on chemicals interacting with each other. For example, just using morphine as an easy idea, yeah, you could shoot up some of the morphine and they're going to go comatose. But one, the morphine alone could stop their heart. I don't know if this street drug will react badly with any type of medication and cause some kind of new reaction. Plus, if there's in it, she kind of gestures to all of you, then that's doubly so, where I don't know what could happen. When you start mixing drugs together in the body, you don't know what's going to come out of it. My best recommendation, stay away from drugs entirely. It's a big risk that we're playing with what we don't know about. You could send someone to cardiac arrest. This isn't Kindred. This isn't like me. I'm technically mortal, but I got, voodoo. But, like, you're dealing with people, Acer. People are fragile. You can't just pop a drug into them and hope it works. Like, this stuff takes testing. Why do you think the FDA takes so fucking long to pass a COVID vaccine? And even then they rush that shit. Like, you don't know how this shit works until you've tested it a lot of people. I mean, I could just give you something that might work on the first guy, but it sends the next person to a cardiac arrest because their body fat count is off. There's a lot of factors here. My best recommendation, hold them down and make sure they don't kill themselves.
That's going to require a little more work then.
Well, if you want to be risky about it, sure. Go into the lab and grab whatever you want. You technically own everything in this building, so I can't really stop you. But if you want my medical advice, stay away from pharmaceuticals. You don't know how this is going to react to each other, and it's a risk. If you're going to try and subdue anybody, muscle works. They may be a little stronger, but they're still people. At some point, they're not going to be able to move their arms. A person can heal from a broken limb a lot easier than an OD.
Oh, you just gave me an idea.
I don't like that. I don't like that I gave you any ideas. You asked for advice, now you get that thinking face. Every time you have that thinking face, somebody dies.
No. This is great.
Hey, sir.
I'll explain everything later. By the way, third thing, most important, 2 days from now, do you want to go out to eat?
She just stares at you.
Like, in the morning. Like, I'll sleep at night, I'll take you out to eat. It's kind of a thank you for everything, Been asking a lot of you, and this is kind of just my way of saying, you know what? She deserves a little something nice, so I figured, food.
Give me a charisma plus persuasion.
Yeah, how many dice is that?
You can pull if you want. I'm saying it now.
We're almost at the end of the night. Just pull dice.
Just fucking pull if you want to.
Despite the fact that Crescent's going to kill you.
It's fine. I don't need it in a scary club. Please use it to date the girl.
You guys have 9 blood bags. Don't give me crap.
Take all of the dice for this one roll.
Do it.
Technically, you have a +2 because she's a mortal, and you're talking to a mortal inside the Haven.
That's exactly what I was asked, because she counted as a mortal.
She technically counts as a mortal. She may be a witch, but she's still a mortal.
Hey, chat, take notes. This is how you woo a mortal woman. Get her inside your haven.
Do you want food? And then ask specifically.
Do you eat food?
You know what? I'll get a look at that roll. I'm not even going to pull.
Okay. I would love a mess critical for this.
With 3 successes, Acer's just going to continue and just be like, and I'm not talking about like at night. I'm talking about like during the day. I'll sleep all night so I could wake up during the day, and we can, just
3 successes. Okay. She gives you a very hard look for a moment, raising her eyebrow like she's trying to figure you out. Luna Cafe.
You got it. And all of it's on me. Anything.
Don't say you're rich.
Oh, she knows.
I know, just don't say it.
She looks at you, you can't help but there's a small smirk kind of popping up on the side of her face as she looks at you. I'm going to go back to work now. See you 8 a.m. 2 days from now. With that, she turns and she bumps into the walls. I'm fine! And with that, she just slinks back into the nurse's office, closing the door.
Acer just looks confused a little bit as to why she bumped into the wall, just kind of like, that poor girl's working to death. It's a good thing I'm going to take her out for some nice little break.
Nailed it.
Stuff.
Brava. Bravissimo.
So.
And Acer is going to immediately go to the garage.
And what are you looking for in the garage?
The garage, I know for a fact, because of its mechanisms, there is some steel wiring.
There would be.
That I am going to make.
It's not too hard for you, after a little bit of time, to undo some steel cable. What are you planning on doing with this cable?
I'm also going to take some... What's the most wrecked looking car in the garage?
Grayson's truck.
What do you think it is?
I was like, I wonder.
Grayson.
There's a reason.
Grayson.
You don't need Onyx to be a detective to figure that one out.
Grayson's fucking truck has had the most abuse out of every car in this garage.
So Acer's going to find some tools. He's going to take the engine apart because he wants those pistons.
Oh my god.
Give me an intelligence plus craft.
What has this night become?
This is a prepping type of night, apparently.
It is. It's a very prepping sort of night.
All Acer can do is prep. That's his strength. 4 successes.
4 successes. It takes you some time. It's not a matter of how difficult it is to work on this engine block, but not too long, you're got some grease on you, and you are definitely feeling the grime of the engine. The problem is the fact the car's front end and side panels have been blasted in so many times, and, it did pull itself out of a building. Yeah, that car is... This would be the final nail in the coffin, as there are some parts you had to break to get to those pistons cleanly. I will say, though, as you're working, there was a moment, just briefly, where you heard above you just... Sound of like metal on metal tinking. Briefly.
Can I see where that came from?
You don't see anything. Look around, just kind of looking at maybe some mechanical parts moving. You don't see anything.
I'm going to pay special attention to the lights on the car. Do they start to flicker at all?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to make a note of that for later. And I'm going to take at least 3 of the pistons.
With 4 successes, you now have 3 pistons from this dilapidated husk of a truck.
Awesome. Who's the strongest person in this place right now?
Probably Rudy.
I'm going to get on the radio and just be like, hey, Rudy, can you meet me in the garage?
Oh, no.
You hear about it? Dare I ask what you want?
I'm just doing a little crafting session. I need you for this. I need muscle.
There's a long, awkward pause. Is this one of those things where technically it's in my job description because you signed my paycheck, or is this asking a friend?
I am merely asking a friend if you would like to do some arts and crafts.
Son of a bitch. After another awkward pause, the earnesty in your voice has intrigued me. I'll be right there. After about maybe 5 or 6 minutes or so, unless there's something else you're doing.
What else would I need for this? I would need something to clamp 2 pieces of metal together.
I'll say overall, because of the state of the facility, any type of general tools you probably have at your disposal. If it's something obscure and specific, you probably have it.
Okay, excellent. Then I'm just going to gather all the necessary tools and just kind of wait for Rudy.
You hear him on the other side of the garage door. Shit! What? Damn it!
Yeah, so that was me. You gotta come through the door.
As you hear him cursing a little bit off in the distance, where another few minutes goes by, he comes back around, opens the door. What the fuck you do? Oh, no. As he just immediately looks into the lit garage, sees the cables, sees the pistons, sees Grayson's truck. Mr. Holland's going to cut your head off. You realize that, right?
Look, the truck didn't work anyway. I already owed him the suit, so I'm going to own the car anyways. We all know he was going to get replaced.
I don't think that takes away from him cutting your head off portion.
It's a good thing I want to die. Hey, come over here and cut this steel wire into like 3 even lengths, would you?
For the sake of brevity, as he just kind of gives you a look of disbelief as he leaves Milwaukee. You guys take point. I'm going to be disposed with a problem for a minute. This might take a minute as Rudy comes to help you with whatever you're trying to do. For the sake of brevity, what are you trying to accomplish?
So, I don't know the name of this thing, but you know that weird capturing tool where it has like 3 strings tied together at the end?
Are you trying to make a bola out of pistons and cable?
Yes, that's it. Trying to make a bola out of pistons and cable.
While it's not impossible, I will warn you, that is heavy.
That's the point.
Give me an intelligence plus craft.
Medical did say that, stay away from the drugs. I've got to restrain it somehow. And
okay. Well, you know what? Sure. Let's see what happens. Strength plus craft.
Do I get an extra one because Rudy's helping me?
Yes, I'll allow it.
For success.
On a security team. Making this shit. It's crude as hell. And it's... After Rudy helps you get these things into place, it does take you a few hours. But you do successfully craft a form of bola. What I will warn you, though, as you kind of pick it up with one arm, engine pistons are not light material. Typically with a bola, you have a hollowed out shell of some kind, usually in the form of some type of, South American nut. Maybe like a coconut or a rock. Something not necessarily as heavy. These are solid steel cylinders of, steel. It is heavy. And even if you lift it with one hand, this is going to be unwieldy.
Christian's strong. He can manage it.
For fuck's sake.
So while we're partying at a club, he's making arts and crafts with car parts.
Pretty much at this point. But you have...
I love this.
You have a solid steel bola.
What are the chances that I can pretty much trip up a bowl with this thing?
Rudy looks at you, looks back at you. I think you'll decapitate a bowl with that thing. I can't even lift that, brother.
You think I'll do the same thing to a Kindred?
Unless they've got superhuman strength that's more than Grayson, I think it might slow him down at least. If you manage to actually throw it, whatever you got planning, good luck. As he just wipes off some of the grease off his hands. I will, by the way, I'll give you an hour leeway before I tell Grayson what you did to his truck.
Fair enough. Do we have any rope laying around? I need to make a few more of these.
Oh dear. As Rudy just points over to the other side of the garage where you could keep quite a few well-stocked tools. I'm not being a part of this. As he just slowly lifts his hand and begins walking away.
Kind of looks over at the car. Huh. I wonder what else I can make out of you.
That poor truck. And with that, we're going to...
Technology could scream.
We're going to fade away back to our 3 members of our coterie that are out into the city and not doing arts and crafts. I say with love, by the way. The 3 of you pile into the vehicle. What is your destination? You have been given several leads to shoot for.
I think I would like to tackle the club first, if y'all are okay with that.
Good to go.
Sweet. My intent was basically to just go in like normal people and try and see what we can find, including this, see if we can get on the floor with the wonderful fights that I heard about.
I'll say because we are short on time, we'll paint the scene. As the 3 of you do drive off, I'm assuming you let Cress down a bit early.
Yeah, I'll drop her off within like a block, like keep her close by.
Luckily,
and I will give her the schematics.
Luckily, Alkai is a long stretch of beach and public way. It's not hard to find a way to blend into, as long as she keeps a low profile. So I'll say for this, Crescent, just to see how well you blend in, go ahead and give me a stealth plus streetwise. You can.
I will say this is probably the first true time that Onyx will see Crescent like really nervous.
Sweet. Hey, I've had psychotic breakdowns in front of her. I will take nervous from the spooky shadow lady.
Hey, you're spooky shadow lady.
Sorry.
Shadow lady.
Wow. All right.
Spooky shadow lady. All right. 3 successes. Onyx, as you drop Crescent off roughly about a block away from the pit, you can't help but notice that she's just momentarily hesitant as she gets out of the car. She kind of looks around, checks her shoulders. You can immediately she fiddles with the gun inside her jacket. You can see her hackles are immediately up. She pulls the hood up from her jacket to try to hide her face as she's immediately on high alert.
I will grab her wrist real quick before she leaves. I know she doesn't like touch, but I will be gentle. But I will grab her wrist and I will look at her and say, you know, the watch works both ways. Let us know if you need help.
Give a nod over to Grayson as well, and then go hide.
With that, as you both be fully away, so the car, just check your rear view mirror at the slight form of Crescent. Onyx, you notice something as you just kind of check on her. As she walks away, Crescent's image is distorted. You've seen that before, but what throws you off, it almost looks like there's a larger silhouette walking just behind her. You have to double check to look at her. As she fades away into the crowd, she's fine. But for a moment, they look like a taller, slender, transparent silhouette
Oh, I don't like that.
Walking inches behind her as she fades into the crowd of Alkai. And this street is busy. It is the middle of the night. The city is bustling even all the way out here. The chill of the bay, the lapping of the waves. This is where people come to hang out on the beach in the middle of the night. As you get closer to where the pit is, you realize you've never been to this particular site. You recognize vaguely, you feel, a few people going in and out, but as you guys pull up towards the front entrance, just scoping it out briefly as you're cruising on by, it is the epitome of a biker dive. There are Harley Davidsons racked up to the front. In the middle of this late night era, you see several individuals come out of very large trucks. Some come into beat up hot rods that look very much custom fit. There's a lot of the metalhead scene hanging out here, out in the front. People smashing beer cans, talking loud. You can hear loud, boisterous rock music coming out of the open doorway of these saloon-style doors that are open-aired. There are bright lights strung up on the outside and inside that cast a multi-tiered glow out the front, and people are coming in and out. Loud voices. You can smell cheap food, cheap meat, hamburgers, anything that's just real comfort, greasy food. This is definitely a place of cheap beer, cheap food, and good times, as long as you can deal with the edge. You don't really recognize the scene, but you're familiar with it at least.
Good to know.
Definitely a other side of the tracks type vibe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just head towards the front door, and Onyx is gonna lean a little bit on her party girl reputation here, and lean towards the other side of her a little bit more. So there will be a visible change in her demeanor, and she is going to be a lot more relaxed and a little more flirty. So I might as we walk in, I might lean over to Grayson and just quietly apologize.
No, it's good. I'll try to play off it. I'll be the strong, violent type.
We'll see how this goes. Just try to be cool, please.
All right. This is the first year, all right? As I'm saying this, I'm trying to, bring it down to that level.
The jacket puffs up a little bit. He gives you a muggin.
I'm going to pull my hair over one shoulder to make sure the tattoos on her collarbone are showing, and I'm going to get a lot more girly, and I'm going to just, like I said, come on, just drop the, I don't know, refined aspect for a little bit, and just have some fun and keep your eyes open.
Save for the sake of setting up for next scene, Crescent, I need to know. As you do stiffly blend into the crowd, nothing immediately strikes you as a threat, though you do find yourself very nervous. You haven't been this deep in the West Side territory since you got ejected out of a high-rise, and flew a very notable distance landing in Medico's roof, while burning.
My bad.
What is your overall strategy here on what way you want to support the group? Are you trying to navigate behind the building? Are you just trying to get a high-rise view? What do you want to do?
I would like to try and get some sort of view, because I know that if I have some sort of view, I can shadow perspective, and that would help me with eavesdropping a little bit more.
Easy enough. I'll say, with your stealth roll, you're able to make your way up on the higher elevations of the Alkai. There are a lot of apartments and larger buildings here that, after a little bit of time, you were able to get yourself in position. And you find yourself using the fire escape of a back building, and managing to get at least about a story or two up about a block away from the pit. You can see the rowdy club and the loud noises even from here, but you find that no one's going to bother you up here as far as you can tell. You're pretty off the beaten path, but it's not long before you manage to settle yourself in and very carefully with your heightened senses. You can see Onyx and Grayson pulling up and in a parking not too far away, getting themselves prepped and ready for the show.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see if I can see some sort of shadow in the direction that they're going, and then cast my senses that way.
There are plenty of broad and powerful shadows in the middle of the night on Alki Beach, so just give me your rouse check.
Beautiful. Love it.
You succeed? Perfect. So, as you lean in and get comfortable, your eyes, you feel that fuzzy glaze over. You haven't used this ability in a long time, as it almost gives you a bit of vertigo as you feel your senses almost dive through the night, and you reconvene underneath the shadow of a very broad circular table. Immediately, you are caught off guard. The loud, boisterous sound of Metallica slamming out the front of this bike.
Yeah.
You are underneath the table of this gum-ridden old bench setup with these three men sitting here talking as they lean over to see in the direction of Onyx and Grayson locked together in arm as they begin strolling their way through. You hear one of the guys going, "Look at that pink frock of hair on that lass. Oh, $10. That motherfucker's going to trip 2 seconds into this place. I'll take that fucking bet." You watch as these two begin making their way to the front entrance of the pits. We will fade away for now. As Grayson and Onyx, you both step into these saloon-style doors, and this place is slamming. You hear engines blasting out in the front. This was a place for trouble. You certainly found it. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Don't be afraid to throw that support our way. We do greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the raids and the follows and the new chats. It is always nice to come back after a break and see you all eager to see how the story progresses. But for now, lock your doors. Check your windows. Oh, make sure you didn't get any final voicemails from family members or friends. You don't know what might be lurking out there in the dark. And it's always best to err on caution. But we'll see you all next time. God bless you all. Thank you again for joining us.